good morning. A little early, Lern. Little early.
Go F yourself. I don't have time for this.
What?
What did she say?
What?
Excuse
I said what I said.
Pardon me.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I don't mean to take it out on you. Tuesdays suck. I can't deal.
No.
Oh, come on.
I'm in a bad place.
Tuesdays are wonderful.
Yesterday it was the
We don't need to
TJ.
sing.
Today it's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
Is it the fog?
It is. It looks like the mist outside. It's crazy. Mark
Yeah, it
Wahlberg's
was,
just going to appear.
Yeah, it was weird coming in this morning. Movie. Just a little, fog areas going in through the valley up 40.
You felt like you were in the Thriller music video for a second? Like Michael Jackson's going to walk
it was hard
across?
to see.
Yeah?
It was hard to see some spots. So, hey, be careful out there, guys.
Okay.
Careful.
Be careful out there.
Well.
Hey, today we got a mystery guest.
Yeah.
Mystery guest.
Okay.
Mystery guest. Hey, that's
Too early.
You usually sing that line as well, so.
Yeah, but usually at like 6:45.
Listen, don't get on me for having positive
Are you
energy.
in a bad mood, too?
I'm
That's
done
the
with
fog.
this.
You're attacking everyone.
Are you out of your mind? You told me to go F myself
Yeah,
the first thing.
Well,
That was the first sentence
I'm just handing you back what you're handing me, okay?
I didn't hand you anything.
Guys, let's all just take a deep breath.
Can't we just get along?
Mystery guest coming in, let's say around 7:30.
Am I the only one who doesn't know who the mystery
No,
guest
Scott
is?
doesn't either.
Nope.
Rafe knows?
Rafe knows.
And Moon knows. I see. Well, Scott and I also have a surprise today that you'll learn about
Oh,
later.
yeah?
Boom.
Yeah.
I can't wait for it.
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
You
a
know
huge
that thing.
surprise.
It's a huge one.
I can't wait to show you guys what we have in
Revolutionizing.
store for you guys.
Mystery guest 7:30. Maybe mystery guest will bring your surprise in. I don't know.
Is it animals?
I'm not going to say anything more.
It's animals. I'm so excited.
Oh, no.
Oh,
No. Although, maybe.
I almost
Tiger
said-
King.
oh I'm
Everything's on
jacked.
everything's on the table.
I love when furry little things walk into this studio.
Everything's on the table. No, we got to talk to about having furry things
What?
in the studio.
I almost hit a possum this morning. I could have grabbed that and brought it in.
Oh, no.
I didn't, though. I swerved. I dang near killed myself so he could live a great life.
I broke for a bird yesterday. Gosh damn it. Get out of the road. Freaking morning gale or whatever they're called. What is it? Morning pigeon?
I don't know.
Oh, I do have. Oh, I do have
Guys.
an animal update that's going to make you very happy for later in the emails.
Hey, you guys hear about the slideshow from Mother's Day?
I'm sorry.
The slideshow is what they're calling it.
Slideshow.
Slide show.
The slideshow. Come on,
like,
guys.
Like slide.
Slide to the left.
Yeah.
What happened?
St. Louis residents experienced a night of chaos Mother's Day as groups of reckless drivers took over city streets, performing dangerous stunts and leaving neighborhoods shaken.
Okay.
This
Is
is
it Holly
clever.
Hills?
It's like every town's
Yeah,
doing
is
this
that
right now.
story.
You guys are creative out there.
This is that story.
This looked like this looked like Lindbergh, cruising Lindbergh in 99 moved itself to Holly Hills.
Well, they're asking tire shops in the area to be on the lookout for cars coming in with
No tread.
because police use spike strips to try to stop some of these people.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, and I guess whatever tire damage those spike strips cause.
I didn't know there was police involved.
Oh yeah.
I briefly saw the story and it didn't look like.
Well, according to police, approximately 100 cars gathered across 6 different locations, blocking intersections, blocking parking lots, doing donuts, doing burnouts, other risky maneuvers. Huge crowds surrounding the spinning vehicles, with many people, throwing up their phones and filming the stuff and putting it up online, even hanging out of car windows. Neighbors in Holly Hills described the scene as a huge mob with the smell of burnt rubber lingering in the air. Multiple 911 calls were made, but a lot of people felt the police didn't get there quickly enough.
Well,
And police are like, hey, we try to get there as soon as possible, but we're delayed because, we got other stuff going on.
Yeah, it's Mother's Day.
It's Mother's Day.
I'm with my mother. I got my mother in the back of the cab and the lights are on.
I bet they're delayed because they're like, dude, there's these guys doing these sweet tricks in the car out here.
Wait a
On the road.
minute.
Watch. Ow!
This is in Holly Hills? This sounds like something we'd have done in the Target parking lot in the 90s down on Lindbergh.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it did have the perfect parking lot.
Well, what?
Oh, and
okay, so
Ronnie's, too.
so Holly Hills.
Well,
I'm
that's what
trying
I
to.
mean.
I'm trying to.
It's the Target and Ronnie's on the backside. I don't know what it is now. It's like a tile shop or something. But that was the scene, dude. That's where you would have pulled this off.
Ugh, so many guys. I would get on their motorcycles. And
What?
My friends and I, we would just like ride. You know what I mean? Oh, it was just a different time. It was so great.
I'm trying to picture where Holly Hills is.
It's like by Ted
South
Drew's.
St. Louis,
It's the nice area. right?
Chippewa?
Holly Hills, Leona Street,
Watson.
and Grand.
Oh,
Oh, those streets are perfect for peeling out if you guys ever want to do that.
Apparently they're slick.
Holly Hills is
Or
a neighborhood in
slide.
South St. Louis near the intersection of 55 and Loughborough. The neighborhood is defined by Bates and Wall Street
That's
on
right.
the northeast, Holly Hills Boulevard on the southwest, Leona Street on the northwest, and Grand on the southeast. It's surrounded by Carondelet Park and the Boulevard Heights, Bevo Mill, Dutchtown, and Carondelet neighborhoods.
that's right. I was thinking St. Louis Hills.
No, that's Hampton and Watson.
Right. So Holly Hills off of 55 in Loughborough. Essentially.
Right. So by the time the police got there, the group had already moved to another location. From Holly Hills, they moved to a parking lot near the Burlington Coat Factory, or they're just calling it Burlington now.
Oh, yeah.
Did they get rid of the Coat Factory?
Yeah, because
Where all the
they
coats
do
go?
so much more. They didn't want to confuse anyone and be like, well,
Oh,
we're
we have
only
more than
attracting
just
people that
coats
need
here.
coats.
It's like a Kohl's, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been Burlington for some time.
Burlington.
Where you been?
I don't know. I've been doing donuts in Holly Hills. I don't know.
That's sweet.
You didn't need a coat, so you didn't go.
So drivers moved to the parking lot near Burlington at South Kings Highway and Christie Boulevard, then continued on to different spots.
It's right by my house.
You okay?
Everything
good.
okay? Were you just there?
I was just there
You
this
survived.
morning.
I'm going to look at your tires.
Ooh.
I was
Yeah.
just there this morning, guys.
Yeah, what if Rafe had a Subaru down there?
Just spin it around.
I'll take the Jeep or the Vins out, get it on two wheels.
Well, aren't there all sorts of street parking as well? So you're doing burnouts, you're doing your spin-aroos, and you're bumping
Your
into cars.
spinoramas, your
Yeah.
slide. It's a slideshow.
Ironically, the DMV is also right there. So all these people are performing these tricks
I mean,
literally in the DMV parking lot.
Maybe the cones were set up. We don't know.
They were
So,
cones.
in an effort to stop the chaos, police threw out the spike strips, causing flat tires on up to 50 cars.
Whoa. Ouch.
One of the cars later crashed into another car in Soulard.
NTB's like,
Well, how did everybody gather so quickly? Like, is there some sort of party planning committee I'm not on?
I bet there's probably live streams on TikTok or something. and
Discord or
everyone's
something?
like, oh,
Oh.
this is happening right now.
and
I got new tires I need to get rid of
Facebook
and waste
group?
money on.
Yeah, as my uncle would say, Facebook.
The all Holly Hills, the burnout crew? Yeah, I mean, I will be
Y'all
joining
up for
later
a Mother's
today.
Day slideshow?
Are you dying right now?
Yeah, dude,
Poor
he was-
thing.
he was
so
You're like
stoked.
choking on your own
He's
saliva.
jealous he wasn't there.
When's the last time you guys did burnout or a spin or anything cool?
Been
I
a
could
long
never
time.
afford to get rid of tires.
I was trying to teach my son how to, not how to do it, but how to, I took him out driving when it was like a little rainy, and I was trying to teach him how to kind of
Wet leaves, baby.
lose control and keep control of it.
Yeah,
So
that's
we were
good.
kind of ripping into it there, baby.
Yeah, tires are expensive, so don't do it often. I just had to put four new tires on the Jeep, and
Dang,
they're
dude.
quite expensive.
True that.
Money bags.
So flat tires on up to 50 cars. One of the vehicles later crashed into another car in Soulard, fled the scene, but the teenage driver involved later turned himself in. Fortunately, nobody was hurt. City officials said the use of spike strips sends a strong message that this kind of reckless behavior will not be tolerated.
I don't understand because some of the footage I was watching on Reddit, it was a guy with his cell phone video, and there were all sorts of there were just people everywhere. And there were people getting aggravated. The people coming out of their houses.
Yeah,
And then
Oh, you
there's
saw people coming out of their house?
Oh, yeah, there's people coming out of their house and go, what the hell's going on? And then, being confronted by other people that were either neighbors or from down the street or I guess, passengers in the car that got out. Who are all these
Oh
people?
yeah, no, I've seen video of people coming out of their houses and it not going well for those people.
There's
Yeah.
a guy. There's a
Being
guy.
descended upon by the mob.
There's a guy comes out of his house in this video in his flip flops and a cigarette. And you can see him.
Did he go, cool?
No, you can see his body language is just like, well, here we go.
What are you going to do?
I'm gonna smoke a cigarette and watch what happens.
Well, I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to go, "Grr," you're going to,
Well, the patrons are
Shake
going to
your
yell
fist?
at you. Dude, just be chill, bro. Chill.
what are you going to do? When it's so many people and so many cars, what are you going to, get off my
Right.
neighborhood, get out of here.
Oh, I'd be so mad. You're asleep, and then all of a sudden this chaos is happening. And it's a Sunday, so you can't participate because you got to go to bed.
Yeah, I was going to take my car out.
It's like, oh, man.
Oh, man, it's
this
too
is
late.
so much fun.
Honey, get the keys.
It's too late.
It's Worldwide Technology Raceway in Holly Hills.
It's
Let's
what we've been
go.
waiting for. Came to us.
They need the Home Alone traps
Idiots.
set up around that area.
Yes.
It's like paint
No,
buckets
I mean,
in the
what
trees.
really stops these things from happening is the speed humps. You put the speed humps up, and you put the big giant balls, or blocking neighborhoods off.
Yeah.
It may
That
come
makes
down to
St.
that.
Louis look nice.
What about those things that they put on Clarkson? Don't those things work?
Oh, yeah. They could take the bumpers from Clarkson that were stupid and government waste and put those in
they'll
Holly
still
Hills.
find a way. But I guess if this comes to your neighborhood, you just gotta. What are you gonna do?
Grin and bear it and watch the spike strips.
And just pray that nobody gets hurt,
Yeah.
and pray that your property doesn't get damaged. Hopefully, you don't have your car out on the street.
Oh, man. I would just get on the roof, I think, and start filling up balloons with paint,
Yeah,
and just throwing
launching
them.
them.
Just launching them.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
man.
a potato gun could do a lot of use too.
Oh, show.
You don't want to do that.
Why? They're doing it to me.
No, I understand that.
Yeah, you got to measure the potential upside versus
Oh, they're not going to
the-
see me do it.
Oh, you're gonna
I'm
make
going
a
to have my ninja
Yes, you can have
costume
your
on,
ninja
as
costume
I
on.
do
Yeah.
I'll
on
be on my
Sunday
roof.
nights. That's what I mean.
I'll be on my roof with a potato gun
Get on your
and
neighbor's
a
roof.
shingled ghillie suit.
Yeah, he's looking like Martin Sheen.
No, you're gonna look like a roof.
Yeah,
That'd
I'll
be
just
great.
look like a
You're gonna
roof.
he's gonna wear a ghillie suit with just shingles on it.
Absolutely
he
Blend
is.
in.
This is a man who understands the assignment.
Get a potato gun and a bag of taters and just start picking them off one by one.
Well, with this kind of stuff, in all seriousness, this is why people are moving out to the county.
Yeah, but you know what? You can't get these cute little cookie cutter gingerbread houses
I
out in
know.
the county.
Well-
So the people are actually staying in Holly Hills for the vintage homes.
Yeah.
And the great red brick. So
Well, again, city officials say the use of spike strips sends a strong message that this kind of reckless behavior will not be tolerated. And the Ward 1 alderwoman says that the city is working on both enforcement and infrastructure change, like closing park gates at midnight, or I'm sorry, at night, and extending medians and making it harder for stunt drivers to take over. And the residents of these areas are feeling threatened with, reports of, verbal abuse. Even one neighbor threatened with a gun. Police haven't made any arrests so far, but are asking, again, the local tire shops to report an unusual increase in flat tire repairs, hoping to track down more of the drivers involved. Well, good luck. Yeah, Lern's more interested in how they get organized. How you guys organizing?
yeah, let's not. This is how women's
Slideshow,
brains
Mother's
work.
Day, will attend. Yes,
You
for
guys
two.
are like, okay, the
I sent
tire
out an
shops,
invite.
spikes, tire shops. I'm going, where's the event invite? Where are the groups? Because that's where you can find out where they're going to go next. If you think it stops at Holly Hills, you're dead wrong. Okay, this is coming to Ellisville.
Oh,
We're going to see this in front of the Pasta House on Manchester probably in 2 nights.
Well, the reason that everybody has their phones out too. It's not because they're like, oh, cool, he's doing a donut. It's because there's always somebody that wants to get that shot that's super confident that they can get out of the way. You've seen these videos, right?
Oh,
yeah.
There's
And they're always
those videos.
standing there holding the phone, just kind of nonchalantly, like boop, like Toro, like the bull goes by when the trunk goes right by him, and then they miscalculate. And
No,
go,
somebody gets
thunk,
smoked.
and then 20 feet in the air somehow, and then
Oh,
pop, pop, pop.
there's one I saw of an event like this where they're hanging out the window and the car flipped over.
Yikes!
I mean, it's pretty reckless. And those, I don't know if those guys are properly trained.
wait, what?
That's right, Scott.
I'm pretty sure
Let's
they're
take it to the
properly
track.
trained.
Let's take it to the track.
Okay.
So they're calling them slideshows.
Well, that's cool.
Hopefully not coming to Overland, or you don't you don't tolerate that in Overland.
Well, good luck finding an intersection that big. That's the
luck
nice thing
finding
with
the room.
Overland. It's got tiny intersections, so good luck.
Good luck finding the room.
And they're smart on Page. They put those little bumpy strips down.
Yeah, they put the bumper strips down. They put, they block off some of the neighborhoods with those giant, either like they look like flower pots, or like the balls they put in front of like Target,
Yeah.
like the giant concrete balls they have in front of Target.
Which can become dislodged. Remember when somebody popped one of those and it went whoop, and started rolling down the...
Oh, for real? Oh, man.
They got 12 homes in Holly Hills.
Yeah, I think there's a video of that, too.
Is that true? Those are not.
Kids play on those.
Well, it is a ball.
Yeah, but those are not like concreted down.
I think they are, but it's something...
Unless you hit it hard enough.
Yeah, let's see.
Ouch.
I guess
the
anything's
internet-
movable if you hit it hard enough. All right, here's a question. What would you do? And speaking of videos that go viral all the time, it's people running into a store and grabbing as much stuff as they can and running out the front.
Yeah.
Let's say you are heading into a store and you see, I don't know, one or two people with a handful of clothes trying to run out. And they're going to run right past you. What are you doing? What are you doing? There was a story, this was out of St. Peter's. And there was a video that went viral from back in March. Two guys inside of Kohl's grabbed armfuls of clothes. About $1,500 worth of stuff. And they literally just grab the clothes as much as they can and run out the front door. And right past Kohl's employees, right past patrons, and they go into a white Dodge Durango and goodbye. And everybody's complaining all the time about prices going up and, this is expensive and that's expensive. And, one of the things that's causing price increases is, people stealing stuff. What are you doing? Moon, what are you doing? You see two people. Two dudes with an armful of clothes. You are walking in the Kohl's and they are running out of the Kohl's.
Kohl's, huh? Well,
Yeah.
I don't want to cause too much of a scene. My mom's probably here.
The Kohl's in St. Peter's. That may be your local Kohl's.
That is my local
That's your
Kohl's.
local
That's my
Kohl's.
local Kohl's. I'm there all the time.
He's there at that Kohl's all the time.
man.
You
All the
could have been in
time.
this situation.
Yeah. Do I have my Kohl's cash with me?
Doesn't matter. Local store owners say groups of shoplifters are
Yes.
walking into stores, quickly grabbing products off the shelves and rushing out before anybody can stop them.
A bag full of Kohl's cash as well.
And these incidents are not just happening at places like Kohl's. They're happening at small, locally owned shops.
Yeah.
And owners are like, hey, we're not Kohl's, we're not Target, we're not Walmart.
Yeah, we don't have like loss prevention.
We're also operating on very small margins.
Yeah, I don't think I care. I mean, this isn't the thing that I'm going to insert myself in. I'll insert myself, or I think I'll insert myself in a lot of scenarios. This is not one because it's Kohl's. What are you doing? You got jeans? Like, okay, go. Like, they got you on the camera.
What are
so
you
it's
gonna
fine.
do?
What am I going to do? Now, if they were like picking up a kid and stealing him or somebody's
Yeah,
cute
right,
dog,
right,
I'm
right,
like,
right.
I will intervene, hopefully, and tackle their ass to the ground.
And I'm sure, Rafe, when you see these videos and you see somebody walking in and then grabbing them and throwing them to the ground or tripping them, or you go, yeah, little swamp justice, nice, hold them till the cops get there. But
Sometimes I don't get that bent out of shape on big box stuff.
You know me, man. I'm pro business. I'm usually like,
Sorry.
Sorry, Kohl's.
Sorry, Kohl's. We all know. Plus, Kohl's is, let's be honest, I've said this before and I'll stand by it. Kohl's is not, that's not a department store. That's a front for a drug operation. There's something going on. Kohl's, something else is happening there. There's no way.
Kohl's. It's about.
Something.
It is, though. But why would I risk my life to stop someone from stealing a pair of Levi's or a Mark Anthony quarter zip when they're giving away $8,000 worth of Kohl's cash when you spend $20
Let's
in
throw
there?
another
Yeah, they're
store in
stealing
there.
from themselves.
Does
Let's
it
be
matter?
honest.
Yeah, Kohl's is robbing themselves.
Does it matter if it's Kohl's or Lern's dress shop?
No,
It's my dress shop.
Of course I care.
He's the bodyguard at my dress shop.
Now I have.
Kidding?
Now I got skin in the game. It's a personal
Lern
friend.
cash.
I'm just saying, a local a local clothing store.
Yeah. Okay.
Of what you do not know.
Of what you do not
I
know.
mean,
don't know
I'll
the
put my
owner,
leg
but
out. You want me to
it's-
trip somebody? I will. No big deal.
It's a small boutique.
Got my foot out, and if that doesn't do anything, well, then I'm over. I've tried enough. I don't
Yes.
know.
I might hip check somebody.
Yeah. I'll roll out the spike strips.
Yeah, which you always have on you.
Yeah. They're about 4 foot.
I'll throw a shopping cart in to impede their path.
Honestly, the problem isn't really necessarily what I want to do. It's just like I've seen so many videos of like they don't even let the security people stop people leaving because of lawsuits.
Yeah, they tell you that when you work at the mall. Don't
Like, just
chase
let 'em.
somebody.
Oh, I think
Target too.
it's
They're like, and
the
people know
worst.
that. They like walk into these stores and walk out knowing like the security peoples are not supposed to like tackle them or stuff.
And they'll
I've
steal-
seen where they're stealing like food.
Well, they'll steal like just enough where it's not a felony.
I had a friend in high school get fired from his job. He was a manager at a place that sold staples, and it was not called Staples. And he chased somebody that stole something and tackled him and got the guy, and he was fired because he was specifically told,
Just let them go.
yeah, that like, hey, that's not your job.
What's your job then?
His job was to manage the store, not to tackle.
Oh, okay, but he wasn't security.
No, he was not security.
Oh. Yeah, we had a fun day where we had this guy, we always called him Spider-Man because he had a spider tattoo on his
Yeah,
neck.
sweet.
And he kept hitting all the stores in the Beverly Center there where I was working at. And so we kept reporting him to the police because he kept stealing bags, this and that. And so eventually the feds came in and they're like, hey, you know, we're tracking this guy, blah, blah, blah. He's from this area of the U.S. and yada, yada, yada. Do you see him? We're like, yeah, we know him. And so they're like, okay, when he's here next, give us a call. Because they had a station, I guess, down at the lower levels. Anyways, we saw him in the store, so someone was like, hey, Spider-Man's here. So we texted the agent, and then we're like, hey, would you like some champagne? We did the whole thing for him.
I
and-
try to keep him there.
yeah, we kept him there and just kept talking to him. It was like super nice. And
Excuse me, guy with a spider tattoo on his neck.
and
Would
you can
like
see
some
the bag
champagne?
full of, he had a bag full of like wallets and stuff he's already trying to steal from us.
Did he stay for the champagne?
He did, and he fell
Oh.
for it. And I was like, "Hey, have a great day, blah blah." And he walked out, and all these police just surrounded him.
That is
and they
sweet.
busted him. It was so fun.
Good
yeah,
job,
well,
Scott.
I guess the law enforcement's supposed to handle it. You know, we're not properly trained to
Right.
take out a suspect. Although I'd like to think that I would try to insert myself in the situation. I probably won't. I'm a coward.
Fight or flight? You gonna fight for Kohl's discounted shirts?
No, it's not the principle. It's the principle of it. It's the principle like, hey, why am I paying for stuff and this person can just run in and run out?
Well, because I don't want to go to jail. That's why I'm paying for this stuff. I mean,
Well, they're not going to go to jail because they'll probably get away with it.
I don't know. I'm looking at their photos right now. They'll get caught. They have some pretty clear imagery of these two.
I'm
dudes.
not saying just these are the ones in St. Peter's. These two a-holes up in St. Peter's. It's just one example of many. This seems to be a thing now.
Wow.
These kids look like they're 20 years old. And one of them has a really
one of them
cool
has a-
necklace on.
You'll notice a unique hand tattoo on one of the men. But this is not an isolated incident. This is something that's happening. And you know, again, you look online and you see the videos of patrons getting involved.
Well,
And you see other videos of just like, hey, you know, I'm not getting involved.
These guys are wearing the same Nike jacket, only different colors. That's kind of odd. You wear the same jacket as your friends?
Well, if you're a
Yeah,
teen,
we're in a gang. Duh.
you're also
Matching
ruining
jackets.
you're ruining the art of shoplifting. You know,
Yeah.
it's an art. The folks that have perfected it, that are good at it, they wander in. They take a couple items. They're slick about it, and they wander out. I appreciate that.
Brute force is not the way.
I don't like this. Yeah, I don't like this smash and grab. You're ruining an art.
During the day.
Yeah, it makes me mad. This is the Marvel movies.
Because it's the what are you going to do about it?
Exactly.
The audacity.
There's no nuance. There's no style, panache, if you will, of wandering
couth.
in. Yeah, there's no wandering in with a pair of jeans you specifically designed with a secret pocket. You know, to slide something into while you're chatting up. You're doing it right in front of the employee. You're good at what you do. It's like a card shark, you know? Like if you're going to hustle me, I want to be hustled by a professional. I don't want someone to be like, pick a card, any card, then just punch me in the face and take my wallet. I want 3-card money. I want to see the art within the game, you know? And I think they're hurting good shoplifters' names.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, you're right. 636 on the Coleman's Campers text line. My mom works at the Target in Cave Springs. Not allowed to touch customers to stop them from stealing. I assume most retailers have that policy, yeah. And the brazen thieves know that. Mm-hmm. And they take advantage.
Yeah, I wonder what kind of hook you could be on lawsuit-wise. You tackle the guy and...
They get hurt?
Yeah, splits a skull, and, you were just some bystander that decided to intervene and tackle. I mean, I'm not sure how that works.
I just hate seeing people get away with that kind of stuff. It just sucks. It sucks.
And when you're working in a place, it's weird how it still feels personal when they come in and they just stick their arms through the loops of the bags and they run right out, and there's just nothing you can do.
Yeah, I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it. I remember I was, this was many, many years ago. I was still living in New York City. I was having dinner. Amelia and I were dating at the time. We were eating outside on a patio at a restaurant that's right up on the street. And the table next to us, which was up, there was a metal railing about waist high that was just, separating the street from the restaurant patio. And the table next to us, they had paid their bill, and I guess they had cash in the little folio thing. Mm-hmm. What do they call that? The bill holder. The bill. What do you call it?
I don't know. There's got to be a name for that.
Is it a folio? I don't know. Does that
folio?
sound right?
I've never heard anyone just use that.
I don't know.
Folio.
Anyway, so they had left cash in there in the bill, and somebody just walked up right off the street, grabbed it, and ran. And the waiter said, "Did you see what happened?" I said, "Yeah, somebody just grabbed it and ran," and was pissed at me for not chasing. I go, "What do you want from me?"
You didn't sign up for that.
The guy just, it was a second, just grabbed it and took off down the street.
Yeah. The little black book that waiters hand you is commonly referred to as the bill presenter.
The bill presenter.
Or the check presenter.
Yes. The guy grabbed the check presenter and ran.
Come on, we've
fancy.
We've all used this on a regular basis. Why can't we have a cooler name? There's got to be a better name.
You don't like folio?
Folio is already something else. That's like a single piece of a single leaf of paper or parchment, numbered on the recto or front side only.
Anyway. The guy was like legit pissed at me.
Oh, you're a coward.
Should I have gotten up?
In his eyes.
In his eyes, yes. I should have gotten up and gave chase.
In his eyes, he's like, man, I thought we had like a rapport. I brought you these breadsticks. We had a laugh. I laughed at your joke. I
didn't miss
Somebody
the
snatches
deli
my
specials.
bill presenter.
To be honest.
Can't even stick a leg out. I get that you have short legs.
Literally the guy just walked by, whoop, and then
He
goodbye.
probably didn't fault you 5 minutes later. But if you think about it, if you were that guy and you came back and you said, "What happened?" and then someone told you exactly what happened, your first instinct would be like, "Why didn't you do something?"
Yeah, I know you're right.
I mean,
no, it had me. All these years later, thinking like, what should I have done?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure his thought went, "You're kidding me! You saw it and didn't do anything."
I pretty much told you right away.
I tattled on him.
I said he went that way.
Which way did he go?
And the guy took off running in his apron. He went.
And he probably got what, $40?
I
don't know.
Like what a dumb thing to.
That's a
possibly get
patio
your ass-
seating problem at every restaurant. Like usually it's just people dying and dashing.
Yeah, this was a leave the money in the bill.
Yeah,
in the
but
check
any
presenter.
patio seating you run there, especially if it's like sidewalk. You like sidewalk patio? Like some of these places I'll see put like 5 or 6 little bistro tables out front, so people in umbrellas. We used to do that where I worked, and there would be people trying to snatch stuff. And
yeah, it's so easy, especially in New York City street.
Somewhere like that, yeah, where there's a million people to disappear into.
Yep.
That's got to happen
It's got to happen a lot.
No, I was going to say way less frequently than back when it happened to you, just because most of it's all credit now.
Yeah, and most of it's all credit now.
There's a guy that used to come into the restaurant I worked at, and he would be by himself, and he would always like pretend to forget that he forgot he didn't pay his bill. And he was like, but it was like he was a bald guy who wore the worst toupee I've ever seen in my life, and he always had a hat pinned to the top of the the toupee. It was so like such a non-inconspicuous disguise. It was like it looked like a dead gray ferret on his head, and then he had a little bitty hat pinned to the top of it, like that was his. Like he was just going to pull that toupee off.
What?
And
A little bitty hat.
it was ridiculous. It was like the most ridiculous. Like there was this
like
much.
the one that looks like a beach
It was
ball and
such a
has
bad
the
toupee.
propeller.
Like between his ear and where the toupee started was like 2.5 inches of real estate, just bald. And then the toupee would start like up here, and then he had a little hat. The hat was like pinned to the top, where it was almost pointing straight up in the air like a little kid. And I'm just like, this is a ridiculous outfit you're wearing. And then they'd catch him, and he'd play the old like, oh, did I forget? He did it all the time. But he'd come back.
He probably got away with the whole forgetful thing.
Then I ended up on a Ferris wheel with this guy.
What?
Like he's in the car below me. And I was just like, hey, that's the guy. I mean, when he's wearing his little toupee and pinned hat, like that's
a signature.
It's a signature move. And I go, I wonder if he's stealing this Ferris wheel ride. And he was by himself.
I wonder if he paid for this. Anyway, that's what's going on around town.
It's risky to do stuff too, man, because like, I've had moments where I was like, this guy was rowdy at, I think it was like Flyover. I can't remember where it was at, but he was drunk. Just just a St. Louis guy, come from a Blues game, in a Blues jersey, drunk, starts trying to fight everyone in the bar. And I was bartending that night, and I Happy Gilmore'd him out of the bar, like pulled his jersey up over his head, gave him a quick one, and but when he fell through the door, he fell backwards.
Oh, I mean, it hits his head.
Somebody hits her head, yeah. And that's what I was, it was close. He was fine. But I was like, man, I'd like put his jersey over his head and spun it one time. Like he didn't know where he was at. And I was trying to get him out of the bar, but somebody gets hurt or falls back and hits their head or something like that. Who knows?
So they're running out of the coals with armfuls of stuff. You grab them. They got their adrenaline going.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
They got their adrenaline going. They got a knife on them.
Yeah, they got a knife and a bunch of Izod shirts. They're stoked.
Yeah, dude.
Ready to stab.
And they will drop whatever to get out of there.
Yeah, I mean they're ready to fight for them.
They got khakis
pullovers.
and stupid shirts.
Oh yeah, dude.
I got my Dockers and my Izod. Don't you get in between me and freedom.
Yeah, they got their adrenaline going, and they'll do whatever, kick, punch, stab. It don't matter to try to get out of there.
Yeah, they were ready for a fight. You're not.
I like to think I'm a hero.
Hey, maybe you will be someday.
You are, man.
Hero.
I'd like to think I'd be a hero, but we know.
Well,
We know reality.
that is a sad reality when you realize, no, you aren't who you want to be. Like when you do take off running in a moment of fear, that sucks.
No,
Plus, what if you lose the fight, man? You get choked out with a Crofton Barrow
I know.
sweater. How embarrassing is that for you on the
Right.
6 o'clock news?
And it's
On
discounted.
camera.
What happened, sir? He suffocated me with an urban pipeline. An urban pipeline V-neck.
Listen, here's the
barely
reality. Here's the
survived.
reality of things. I'm just a man who owns a house in Wildwood that pees in his backyard every once in a while. That's it.
It's pretty cool.
That's identifiable. Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
What's with you guys always peeing in the yard?
Yeah, let me ask you this
Because
question.
we can.
I saw this poll online, and it was adult guys, and this is just for the men. Just for the men.
Uh-huh.
Although, Lern, have you peed in your backyard?
Of course I have.
Have you really?
No, I have not.
She poops back there all the
I
time.
take big dumps in my
Try to teach your
backyard.
cats to go outside.
Have you peed in your backyard, and how often do you do it? Moon? Never, rarely, sometimes, often, or very often.
The answer is yes, I have. And it used to be, I would say, often during the summers because it would be or night swimming and I'm not peeing in the pool. You just hop up and, go. But it has not happened in years, I will say.
Years?
Years. Absolute years. Because A, I don't swim really all that much. And B, I don't drink, so I'm not drinking in the pool or that kind of stuff anymore. That's usually when it would happen. When there'd be like, a bunch of us together or something like that, and you're like, I don't know,
So
hanging
you
over
are
the side.
okay, so it's never, rarely, sometimes, often, very often.
I may recently never. Probably the last 6 years, never.
I'm gonna put you down as rarely.
Nah.
You never.
It's over.
You will never
Really?
pee in your backyard again.
Wow.
Well,
What
you
a
can't sit
statement.
down comfortably there.
No, I have no reason. There will not be a circumstance in which I will need to do that again.
Never say never.
I'm going to
Wow.
go ahead and say never on this one.
Moon is a never.
Mal's going to lock you out of the house tonight. And you're
Brian
gonna
moved out.
live
Hey,
there.
I wrote it down. I'm like a meter maid. I can't
No, it's
I can't
never.
undo it.
Put it in
Scott?
ink, dude.
Oh, I definitely go pee in the backyard, but the problem is right now I have the house next to us is usually has been empty for a while. They were trying to get it all sold and all this stuff, so it was almost a year of that, and it was great. No one was on that side of the house, so I could just pee like a champ, but someone's there now, and he's nice, so I'm not going to just go tinkle around.
So very often, sometimes rarely or never.
I would say if I get the opportunity, heck yeah, I'm going.
Often.
So, often. Because if I'm Michelle Bina and I'm mowing the yard or whatever, you just hop out and
Often.
go.
Oh,
All
that's
right,
different.
Scott.
Yeah, that's different, though.
Well, I'm talking your house now. How often do you pee in your backyard?
I guess sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm going to put you down for sometimes. Rafe?
Rarely. I wasn't often when I lived in the country, but my yard is kind of one of those elevated South City houses.
Well, yeah.
I can
You see everything?
catch a case real quick out there, just whipping it out. Nighttime, if I let the dogs out at night occasionally, I might.
That's
be like,
when I do
You know
it.
what?
That's when I do it.
It's dark,
It's only when it's only if I'm out late with the
but
dogs.
it's very rarely because I usually let them out and let them do their thing and go get them. I don't go out with them often. But daytime, there's too much. I got chain link fence. I'm elevated. I'm probably like 10 feet above the road. I can see all the way to Kings Highway. I can see my. It's like one of those. I could see all my neighbors' yards. There's like 7 neighbors going this way
Yeah.
that I could wave at them in their yard. Like it's just too risky. Plus, my neighbor Barb.
You don't
She's
want
kind of
Barb.
stuck in her house.
You don't
and
want Barb seeing you, really?
I don't know where Barb's at, and I don't want Barb to be looking out her window to look at the birds or something and get assaulted. So I've had to curtail the outdoor pee-pees.
I used to live next
Sad.
door to a man that didn't care about that as much as you care about Barb. Tom was a hoarder, and he would let his dogs out in his backyard, and he would just be whizzing back there,
He
like
couldn't
broad
get-
daylight, whatever.
Couldn't get to the bathroom inside.
I guess not. He was an old man. Like, I mean, I wasn't trying to tell him how to live his life, but I was like, what's up, Tom? Like, as I would come home from work.
Hey, Lord.
He's like waving at me
Hey,
with his
Lord.
wiener.
Sorry, I can only
Hey,
wave
girl.
with one hand.
Woo!
He was a hoarder. He probably couldn't get to his bathroom.
He was a hoarder. He probably couldn't get to his bathroom, but I'll tell you this much. You needed something from him, he's got it.
Oh, yeah?
You know what I'm saying?
I need a newspaper article from 1989.
He'll go get it. Take him a couple of minutes, but he'll get it for you.
He knows where everything is.
I've
Why
peed in
do
the
your
parking
tomatoes
lot, though.
taste so good?
I know this is an at-home question, but like getting out of a Chiefs game or something, it's like a 2.5 hour. You get caught.
Oh, yeah.
Forget to go before you leave the game.
Yeah.
About an
Yeah,
hour
you
into
have,
that.
you have the door open to block you.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got to pull.
At least
real-
there's a little discretion.
I did
little
that
bit, but-
after Aerosmith in Chicago trying to get out of the parking lot. I did it in front of my mom, my sister, and my husband. Just door open, whizzing right there. And I've never seen so much disappointment from my family than what was happening in that moment.
Yeah, I've had to do that on the highway whenever it snowed, closed the road down, and I was just stuck out there. And you just, like, well, sorry guys behind me, but I'm going to do this as discreetly as possible.
At home, yeah, it's one that if I'm it's at night. It's only at night because I have the path next to my house that leads down to the lake. So every once in a while, so during the day it's out. But if I'm out late with the dogs, they're going. I'm watching them.
Nature calls.
I gotta go too. Let's go. Hey,
Do you ever feel
let's
like
all
you're-
go together.
Do they go pretty quick, or sometimes do you feel like if you pee, they'll go faster so you can go back in the house?
No, I'll give them at night some time to kind of roam around. They do their thing. They'll run to the corners of the yard and bark at whatever's in the woods, and then I'm like, "Oh, come on, man! All right, fine, I'm gonna go."
Yeah, sometimes
The bushes
I'll
are
be out,
right there.
Sometimes I'm out there and I'm like, Bo's meandering a little too much, and I'm like, "Hey, we're here for this. Is the business we're here to do. Watch your papa,"
This is how it's done.
and he'll do it. It works.
You think Tim pees in the backyard?
He does. I know he does.
There's a brown spot in the lawn.
Yeah, he's ruining the yard.
What's green weed eating? So,
Yeah, Tim, every house that we've lived in, which is 3 of them, he has a moment where he needs to go back there and urinate on it like it's his property now or something. That's
marking
like
his
a rite of
territory. I
passage.
understand.
Trying to keep the dandelions down.
Yeah. Trying to keep the men away. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Amazon, speaking of that, Amazon has a reputation for working people so hard they don't get enough bathroom breaks.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And apparently, some drivers are so desperate that they're not even trying to hide it anymore. This is out of California. So a lady, Amazon delivery driver, was caught on security camera going to the bathroom on the steps of a family's front porch.
What?
This is Sunday morning. Happy Mother's Day.
Well, we can't do what you guys can do, whiz in a cup and stuff,
Well,
okay?
she went a poo-poo pee-pee.
Oh,
A poo-poo and a pee-pee.
there are gas
Good-sized
stations.
cup, I guess.
And the homeowner says they also found a dirty paper towel on their property, but that's not all. That same morning, that same Amazon delivery woman was caught on another family's camera about a mile away peeing on their brick walkway. And it was basically right next to where she delivered their package. So she put the package down and then went to the bathroom.
Damn it, Bezos.
And you know what happens when Amazon delivers a package? They do the proof of delivery photo.
Right.
And apparently she was able to crop out her own desecration from the
own
photo.
crop?
So Amazon confirmed that the driver was a contractor working for them. In a statement, they said, "We're deeply disturbed by the unacceptable behavior of this delivery driver and apologize to the customers involved. We immediately identified the driver, and they are no longer delivering on behalf of Amazon." And the woman's face is clearly visible in the footage. And if Amazon passed her information on to the police, there's a good chance she could face charges. And this happened in a fairly fancy area in Southern California. And even if it was an emergency situation, which it happens, isn't it strange they didn't look for a discreet bush or something?
Yeah.
She just did it out there in the open.
To be fair, it's not the open. It's like a stairwell that goes down into like a driveway that has a big hill. So
But you know, there's likely a doorbell camera.
There's not a doorbell. It's actually like a side camera that got her. And there's one point where she kind of looks up and
that's out there on the open, though. I mean, there's no bush.
No, it is enclosed.
It's California. You see, it's got the bushes in this wall here.
Yeah, it's by the trash cans. It's like what hides the trash cans. So she did go kind of out of the way. It still sucks. I'm not excited about it. I'm just saying.
You're an Amazon driver. You know there's cameras everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Look at her. Oh, that's a shame.
Well, I mean, I feel bad, sort of. Like maybe she had diarrhea.
She looks like Sarah Silverman.
She does look like Sarah Silverman.
I feel bad too because this is. I'm sure. I mean, she didn't. When you say did it on the steps, I see some city house with step street.
Yeah.
And just like out in the open. That's what I thought you were talking about.
I said this is a fancier area in Southern California.
Yeah, so it's all kind of privated out here.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, you'd be very upset if you came outside on Mother's Day. Well, here's the family talking about it.
I mean, it looks like she went in two spots.
Here's the family talking about it.
When I woke up, my husband said he was going to bring me some coffee and a pastry. He went downstairs and was greeted by not only one package, but a second inappropriate, disgusting package, which was essentially like human feces and looked to be urination. I kind of like clutched my pearls a little bit because I'm like, really? A second time? It was kind of like, wow, still not done.
She probably had Taco Bell before.
Oh my gosh.
Stay out of it, kids.
It's a heck joke.
Look.
Nice job, kid.
Look.
It's kind of sad. I feel bad for how well the camera caught her face.
Yeah.
It was. Most of these are grainy. That was
this
crystal
is
clear.
Yeah.
If you know this person
nice
and this is
camera.
on the news, you're like, oh, it's Melissa. Like, there's no doubt. That caught whatever Ring camera they have is 4K.
Although my Ring camera's pretty clear.
I feel bad for her because SoCal, man, some of those neighborhoods, you get up in there, you go up in like the hills, the Palisades or something like that. There's nothing. There is no gas station. There's nowhere for her to go. Like, you're up in these neighborhoods, it takes you an hour to get down. Up in these like Hollywood Hills neighborhoods, there's no quick trip. It's not like here where there's probably like a Home Depot or a Quick Trip or something like
there's
within
no
a few
gas
blocks.
station on this corner.
This is where you go find one of those
This is-
lookout areas and you get in the brush and
There's nothing.
Yeah, you climb up into one of these areas right here.
There's nothing. And everything's gated. You got to have a code to get in. The only way you're going to get any kind of privacy is to pop. You probably have a code to get in these gates to drop packages off.
Yeah,
She left a package.
She left.
That's a tough scenario. Here's the one where it does suck that she put the package right here and then went right here. It's 2 feet from it. There's the Amazon package. There's her
mistake.
package. But this one is a totally different photo. Now this is egregious.
That is on the steps.
That's on
Straight up steps.
that's on the
That's on the
bottom
steps.
step.
That's mansion steps.
That is egregious. Over the
She did-
line.
But you see where it's blurred out there, Lern?
As a different
That's turds. I
That's
know.
duty.
as a different gal though.
Okay, not the same place.
No.
No, that is
in
that's
her
the same
woman?
person.
In her defense,
That's
do you
not the
think
same
I
place.
think she held onto the railing and leaned out so she wouldn't get the backsplash.
She did 2 places.
Oh, the same gal. This
The
is the
same gal did 2 places.
Like two different houses.
2 different houses.
Oh, she
Needs
has an
some
issue.
Pepto.
Well, then that's going to cost you your job.
That is, she left duty on the bottom stair.
Yeah, that is agree. This one
That-
is a violation of all things.
A societal violation.
we
That's disgusting.
we were defending you until that.
Where are the gas stations near these homes?
I mean, look at this. Here's the issue. You squat up here on this wall, and boop, it's in the thing. Nobody's the wiser. Maybe
Yeah.
you get caught, and it's embarrassing.
I don't
But on
think
the
this
step,
is
It's
someone.
5:30 in the morning too.
Yeah, this is someone not concerned with gas station stuff. I think it's more of the. You're wealthy. I'm going to get you.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I just said this
I'm
is
gonna get
those.
you.
This is Southern California. Those neighborhoods don't. They're not like here. You're up in the nice Palisades and all that stuff. It's just houses and a 45-minute drive down to wherever the gas stations in like commercial area of LA or wherever you're at is.
Rafe, you don't need to leave duty on the bottom step though.
No, I think she was holding on to the railing probably for like a little bit of lean out because she knew she was going to have some backsplash.
Oh,
And it was like, it's either this or it's on my pants. It's like when you go in the woods, you hold onto a tree, you lean way out.
You saw that picture, and you're still defending her.
I'm not defending her necessarily, but I'm not indicting her either.
I mean, the evidence is clear.
The evidence is
Maybe she was afraid
Right to
of
jail.
things.
crime of passion.
Right to jail.
She doesn't want to get mauled in the
At
forest.
least go on the side of the driveway.
Y'all are silly. There ain't no.
I agree.
Ain't no handrails.
There's
come on,
plenty
man.
of wood she could
There's 1,800 square foot of something that she could put this
duke
anywhere.
she could duke near the tree.
I mean,
Everybody's
that's the
acting
nice
like
thing with all that area up there, Mulholland Drive, everything. There's lookouts every other corner, so you just pull off. You can go hide in a brush.
I like how everybody in here has pooped themselves, and none of you are coming to her defense besides Rafe, who, when that hits,
Oh,
you
come
got
on.
to
Out of
do
your
your
mind. On the bottom
Are you
step.
not hearing things? I defended this. Look
I know,
at this.
you're half-fed.
This whole thing.
I understand if you gotta go,
but
you gotta
this-
go, but at least be a little discreet about it.
this
For
photo
God's
is
sake.
But you're in
absurd.
a place you don't know. You know, she's
She's not grabbing any railing, by the way. Oh, maybe.
This
Doing the railing
photo
on the
is
side.
absurd. Look, you got a whole garden over here.
I think she held onto that rail on the side, put 2 feet on that step, and leaned way out.
How can you defend this? This is in
I like
front
that
of
you're
the
worried about the
garage.
stance.
Yeah, I just listen, dude. I'm like the
It's a garage
Horatio. I'm like the CSI Miami for people pooping on people's houses. It's like, I'm looking at all the evidence of what happened here. Looks like she grabbed the rail and leaned a little too far out.
All right, detective.
CSI doo-doo. Thank you.
No. Right to jail for you.
Well, I blame 2 people here. I blame Amazon for their letting this happen to their drivers.
Yes.
Well, I blame 3 people. I blame the consumers because we want our stuff so fast we don't care.
You can't blame
And 3, I blame
Amazon
her for
this.
not going to Home Depot and getting a makeshift. Because if I was an Amazon driver and I knew this was an issue, there's going to be a poop
Orange
bucket in my
bucket.
truck, dude. There's
Yep.
going to be a more saving, more doing in my truck.
And that's not a bad idea. In fact, I
can't
hope
blame
that
Amazon.
more
No,
drivers
he's
do
always,
that.
he's always blaming it. It's Cole's fault. It's Best Western's fault.
Hey, man.
It's Amazon's fault.
Damn the man.
You guys
know?
literally reported in this story that this is a problematic Amazon problem, that drivers are peeing in
That's
their
right.
trucks because they have unrealistic delivery logistics. I didn't report that. You guys
Yeah.
reported it.
Hey,
You should
we don't
blame
got to talk
yourself.
about facts.
Third
Let's
party.
not talk about facts.
Third party, by
I
the way.
got your back, pal.
I'm taking the information provided to
All
me.
right, here's another story, guys. Here's another story of what would you do? Starbucks known for what? Misspelling people's names on their orders. Now they're remember they're back to handwriting the names on the cups.
Yeah, the little sticker was
Was too
impersonal.
impersonal. Now they're trying to get back to their coffee shop roots. Those small little quaint coffee shop. Now they're going to bring the big chairs back. They're going to light fires and offer free refills.
I love it.
Ooh, nice.
And we get to test the test the theory that the misspelling was on purpose.
So have they started that yet? Because I went a couple weeks ago. I got a gift certificate, and I went. It was all excited to see my name on the cup, and it was printed out. So I'm like, I guess I got to boycott Starbucks
maybe it's
now.
a slow rollout. I don't know, but that's not the point of the story.
Okay.
That's what you get for using a gift card, not real money.
Now, Starbucks writing people's names on the cups. What if you saw something concerning on your cup?
Like what?
So a couple went to this is not Starbucks per se. So they went to a place. They went to Freddy. They went to a Freddy's. Freddy's frozen custard and steak burger place. They were in Florida.
Winner.
So they noticed that instead of their name on the receipt, it just said help.
Whoa.
And it was obvious and in a big bold font. And it was also handwritten in black marker on the takeout box. What do you do?
I would.
What would you do?
I would talk with her coworkers, be like, you guys are working with her. She needs help. What are you guys doing in here? She
You
put it
get
right
your
here on the
order.
cup.
You
for
get
me.
your order. And you just see help written.
Oh, boy.
Handwritten on the box.
You 100% try to find a scenario in which you can say, "Hey, is everything okay? How can I help? What's going on?"
I guess you do the thing where it's like, hey,
I wouldn't leave. That's for sure.
my order is wrong. Can you come out and check it?
Listen, what if you're at a drive-thru? What if you're at a drive-thru and they hand you the hand you the bag, you drive off and you
I'd go inside.
Yeah.
I'd
gotta
probably
go to the
stay in my
bathroom.
car, park it, call. I'd be like, get a manager on the phone. But I'm staying in the
what
parking
if they
lot.
need help from the manager?
I would go in. I would honestly. I'd have.
All it is help.
I'll just say cough twice if you need help.
Okay.
I'd park.
And I would call the cops.
Get 911 ready on the phone and walk in to assess.
But it could be anybody in the store. It could be maybe not the drive-thru worker. Maybe it could be one of the cooks who bagged up your thing. So now you're asking the drive-thru speaker person to cough. What?
You're asking me what I would do. I'm telling you what I would do. I don't know if it's the right thing, but that's where my brain went.
What do you do, Rafe? You see help on the box.
I mean, I would have at a drive-through.
Handwritten. You get
Just
your.
pull over and call, please.
I think I do the same thing.
Yeah, I think this is smart.
I'd just be like, hey, somebody, and tell them what happened. Be like, hey, I was to the drive-through. It's clearly written on here. I think something might be going on inside.
I think so. I think that's exactly what I do.
We'll be right there.
What do you tell the? Yeah, do you tell the operator whenever you're talking with them that you're going to stay until authorities arrive? So
I mean,
Be
depending
like,
on.
my food's hot, so I don't see a reason for me not to go ahead and eat it.
Yeah. Oh, you're eating for sure.
But if you
Oh, you
need
eat.
me, I'm in the blue
Sir.
Benza. Holla.
Sir, I hope you saved the burger for evidence.
I mean, time is.
You hear me licking my fingers? I go back through the drive-thru to get another burger.
I need a steak burger, double steak burger.
If you need me to do, yes, you know what? I'll help this operation by going back through the drive-thru and ordering a McFlurry. I'll see if it's written on
So
there, too.
this happened with a couple at this Freddy's in Florida. It was big bold font, handwritten on in a black marker on the takeout box. They weren't sure what to do, so they posted a photo on social media.
And that was it. And that was it.
So it's fake.
And they asked if it was something they should call the cops about, or if it was a joke or a random placeholder or something. And a lot of people were like, hey, idiots, call the cops.
Clickbait, huh? You think?
yeah,
So?
I don't know. It is an interesting.
Yeah.
yeah.
A scenario that has, quite possibly actually happened somewhere.
They did call the cops, and
Great.
the police sent somebody out, and the customer said they found out it was just an employee playing a prank.
That was my guess.
I was in hopes.
This
that they were
seems
gonna-
like the funny cook playing a prank.
It's
on
something
them.
I probably would have done when I was
Same.
working at McDonald's at 15, 16 years old,
Yeah.
not thinking about it.
Yeah, it's like drawing a ween
That's what they want you to say.
on the to-go box.
That it was a prank.
But in reality,
Who knows?
help.
Help me.
I was just in hopes you were going to say that they, eventually called the police and the police confirmed, like, hey, great work. Yep, someone is kidnapped from there, and we're going to try to find
they
them.
like busted up,
Yeah. Now
child
that the employee's missing, so we're
child
going to find
kidnapping
him.
ring.
What if the manager? What if the manager was doing something, or whoever some authority figure there, supervisor was doing something? The police come in and say, "Hey, the police got called, or we got called on this, blah blah blah." And the supervisor's like, "Nah, it was just a prank, no big deal." But somebody's actually in distress, huh?
Listen, you call the cops and it's there for let them handle it. Again, the trained professionals. One more story before we move on. We do have mystery guests coming in around 7:30. So a guy in his 20s went on to social media to ask for some advice after his roommate stole a piece of cake that he'd baked from his fridge.
Uh-huh.
And the roommate had a bad allergic reaction and called 911. They hit him with an EpiPen, and he recovered. Apparently, he had a peanut allergy, didn't realize the cake included peanut butter. The problem is, the guy says his roommate who stole the cake is now asking him to pay his medical bills because he, quote, poisoned him.
Okay, wait a second.
You and I live together. We have 2 separate fridges.
2 separate fridges. Oh, yeah.
Rich people stuff.
Good luck getting money out of me, but you're going to steal my cake out of my fridge, and you're going to blame me?
Now, naturally, a lot of people are telling him he should not be responsible, especially since they had a rule that they didn't share groceries. They even had separate mini fridges. Mini fridge.
Oh,
or mini
okay.
fridge.
All right.
Yeah, you sociopath. You can't gaslight me into a $20,000 medical bill.
The roommate had gone into his fridge to take the cake, which was never offered to him in the first place.
Yeah.
And the guy says it's awkward, though, because they were friends before being roommates, and the roommate with the allergy told him, told their joint friends about it, and some of them are saying that he should at least contribute something.
Yeah, right.
Towards the medical expenses.
Didn't he contribute something by stabbing him with an EpiPen? How about next time I just don't EpiPen you? Get out of here, dude.
Yeah, there's a couple points here. In addition to the ridiculousness of stealing somebody else's food and then wanting them to be responsible for what happened after, there's also the recklessness of eating random food if you have an allergy.
Exactly. You're a psycho. You are Russian roulette with food your whole life. You know this, man.
I am assuming the guy knew he had a peanut allergy, and while it's unclear whether the cake baker knew it, do you know anybody who has a serious allergy that just eats random stuff?
No.
That might contain the thing they're allergic to? No.
Yeah.
I wonder if this guy's a serial offender. And his roommate's like, all right.
My pop. Oh, you telling me you're not going in my fridge?
Oh, my leftovers are gone again.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is a good point, though. Let's say in the fridge here in the kitchen, somebody is a food stealer. Somebody's been stealing sandwiches, and it's been going on for months. Like, I've had it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a turd sandwich.
Okay. Great. How are you going to make it?
Dog turds.
Secret recipe.
Okay.
Rottweiler.
No,
And I put it in the fridge as a trap.
That's a little different because you're contaminating a common area fridge with feces.
Let's say it's.
But I wrap it up and I.
Let's say
It's in a hoagie.
Sterilely sealed. We're ideal scenario here.
Can I get in the eyes of the law? Can I get in trouble for doing that?
I think for that, yes. But if it was an actual food item, like if you just put onions on a sandwich and I was the food thief, and I went in there and pounded it, and I get violently ill on the air, and you're like, I knew you were the one taking my sandwich.
Okay, so what if I had a delicious sandwich and I just put laxatives in it?
Right. Yeah, can't do that
I don't
either.
know. I think
Can I not? Can I not? But I don't know. I don't know who's stealing it.
We've had these stories before where the precedence, I think, in law is there. I
it's
mean,
considered like a booby trap.
yeah, you're poisoning people.
Yeah, you would have to. I would imagine you would have to be able to prove in court that those laxatives were something that you intended to eat. I don't know, man.
No, but I'm clear. Like I'm clear about it. Like I'm not gonna lie. I put the sandwich in there,
I think
hoping
you would be in trouble,
hoping that somebody would steal it and then get the trots sitting at their desk. And
Yeah, I
And
mean,
everything went according to plan.
This sounds like something that would have happened in 1985 in offices all over the place.
yeah, everything went according to plan. They stole it, but they got dehydrated. They had to go to the hospital to get fluids.
Oh boy, yeah. You might be on for that one. But this is a legitimate piece of food.
Yeah, this is cake. I mean, sometimes cake's different because cake is awesome.
Yeah, and it's in a private fridge. We're not talking about a shared.
Yeah, of course. And this is
community
a
space.
totally different situation.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I wonder. The turd sandwich thing's got me really thinking.
Turd sandwich. Or, I made the turd sandwich. They ate the turd sandwich. They realized it was a turd sandwich.
And
They took a
blamed you.
bite of it, and they go, I'm calling the cops.
Yeah.
You said, you fool!
I have a nut allergy.
Just a left. Well, I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be your turd. So you left
Could be
DNA evidence at
dog
the
crap.
scene.
Yeah, no.
Now, I think if you switch it up it would be a little more creative, like something people eat but is not a popular item. Like you just get like a bull's penis or something. And you fry it up. You make it look like a brat.
Yeah.
You put it in there, and then they eat that, and you're like, who ate my bull wiener sandwich? And then someone's like, ugh.
No, I think the turd sandwich is better. They go, because I want them to eat it.
It is better.
And
I'm saying for your liability.
And they go, I'm wondering if they call the police, and they go, somebody made a turd sandwich, I ate it, and I want them arrested.
One man's bull wiener is another man's turd sandwich.
But
Here's a mint.
I think you got a little more legal precedent on the bull wang, because people do eat those sometimes. At least on Fear Factor.
Really? I thought it was like bull testicles, no?
Yeah, that's
The
it.
Testicle Festival.
Yeah,
That's
you can
it.
get a little testicle sandwich. I have a meatball
That's a
sandwich.
Rocky Mountain oyster.
Ugh,
Yeah.
Man, I don't know, dude.
I wouldn't slurp that oyster for sure.
I'm trying to protect you, man. Try to protect your interests here.
Yeah, before you continue on in this
Whatever.
quote-unquote
Yeah,
theory.
a crab sandwich would be better.
There's a random sando in there. Don't eat it. All right, guys?
It's not sandwich that I want, but if there's like a random dessert experience, I mean, I do get like my thievery on, you know?
What? You've been stealing?
Like,
You stolen desserts out of this place? Go on.
I mean, sometimes like if there's like if there's a cake that has been eaten on already in
Yes.
the
fridge here?
Confess your
and then
sins.
sometimes like, nobody's around. And then like I just decide
Get outta here. You're
maybe
disgusting.
if I take a slither, like sliver, people won't nobody will
notice?
know. Nobody will know. And
Yeah,
you know
you're
what? Nobody's
disgusting.
ever known.
You're just shaving off a slice
I'll just have like a little nibbin.
on
you know?
somebody's personal
A nip nop?
dessert.
I don't know if it's personal. All I know is it's a big ass cake in there, and what's up with this cake?
Oh, but that's well. Okay, but so your mind, you're like, well, this could potentially be a promotional item that's for everyone.
Yeah, this could have been a congratulations
You don't
staff
know.
cake. Right, because the writing that said why the cake is in there is all gone. Everybody ate that, but now there's just a corner piece.
I'm with you. Remember, I ate that cake that was given to us, like a promotional cake that was sat out all weekend.
Dude, yes.
I
Yeah,
Yeah, but
microwaved
At
it
the
up.
that
old
was
station.
public, though. All right, listen, we got to take a break, but
We're
first.
disgusting.
You guys are animals.
We're awful.
All right, today's Teamers Member of the Day is brought to us by Hot Shot Sports Bar and Grill, the official sports bar of the Rizz Show and home to St. Louis sports fans since 1990. From Festus, Kyle Rose is our Teamers Member of the Day. Kyle Rose. Kyle, a devoted listener, an avid Rizz evangelist. He has been listening as long as he can remember. And he loves my grumpy nature and crew's willingness to help the community. Kyle is a veteran of the U.S. Army. Thank you for your service, sir. And graduated from the Police Academy in February. Thank you for your service, sir. He is a Blues and Chiefs superfan. Kyle Rose from Festus is our Team Rizz Member of the Day. Get super sweet Teamers Member of the Day soccer jersey. Get yourself signed up 1057thepoint.com/Team Rizz. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We got crap on celebrities, and a mystery guest will be here maybe in about 20, 30 minutes, depending if this person wants to wake up or not. Or thing. They'll just come on in. It's 7-Eleven. It's Tuesday. Traffic and weather. Moon coming at you.
Traffic is brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues. Roadblock due to a crash 70 eastbound from 70, looks like exit 218 TR Hughes Boulevard to exit Missouri 79. There's also delays 270 westbound between 364 and looks like 40. Your point forecast, a couple of thunder showers are possible later. High of 79. Right now it's 65 at the Point Studio.
All right, Lern, what do you got?
The Diddy trial has begun. Metal earthquakes, TV's plan for fall, and no boobs allowed.
Ooh. Where is this at? No Boobistan, huh?
No boobistan. That's exactly right.
All right, we got that. We got your crappy birthdays to porno birthday. All that and more next in your Crap on Celebrity. Stay there. All right, welcome back to the program. Phone number 314-624-3833, 618-398-3833. The Coleman's Campers text line, 314-649-DUMB. Mid-Culture Studio Cams, 1057thepoint.com/Rizz. The socials at RizzShow Show. Your emails, RizzShow 1057thepoint.com. Mystery guest coming in soon. Crap on celebrities here in just a moment. Porno birthday. We got news. We got sports. We got tickets to give away, including tickets for Point Fest, which is happening this coming Saturday. Forecast looks to be great. Well, little on the hot side, 84, 85 degrees from what I'm seeing.
Ain't no trouble for a dunk tank.
No trouble for the dunk tank. That'll be great. Let's do crap on celebrities. All right, time to find out what's going on in the world of music and entertainment with your crap on celebrities.
Well, yesterday, opening statements in the Diddy federal sex trafficking trial began in Manhattan. Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson asserted that Combs operated an abusive empire for 2 decades, using an inner circle of bodyguards and high-ranking employees to facilitate and conceal crimes, including kidnapping, sex trafficking, drug distribution, and violent assaults.
Did you read some of the details on this? I mean,
I did. Crazy stuff, indeed. Defense attorney Tenny Garagos countered that the case is about love, jealousy, infidelity, and money, arguing that the prosecutors are misrepresenting consensual adult relationships as criminal behavior.
Neither side, there was domestic abuse, domestic violence, a lot of it. Neither side is denying that.
Yeah, in fact, they said that Sean Diddy Combs committed domestic violence, but his defense said that does not mean that he is guilty of racketeering and sex trafficking.
That's not what he's being tried for.
Exactly. So a couple of witnesses took the stand. So a witness for the prosecution, 41-year-old Daniel Phillips, said that he was paid thousands of dollars between 2012 2014 to have sex with Cassie Ventura, Diddy's ex-girlfriend, that he is shown in the video beating the hell out of, while Diddy watched and pleasured himself. During the first day, the jury heard about the many alleged delinquent behaviors from Diddy's parties, including threesomes, prostitution, voyeurism, drugs, and large amounts of baby oil. 2 rows of Diddy's family showed up to support him. And Cassie Ventura was there, as well as a woman just simply identified as Jane.
Well, and some of the stories that what he did to her sexually or had other people do to her are just so vile.
Yeah.
And so off-putting and disgusting. And there was one story the guy told about Diddy yelling there wasn't enough baby oil. And a lot of baby oil, guys.
Tons of baby oil.
Tons. Diddy loved his baby oil. But some of the vile things he put that woman through.
Right.
I mean, it's
awful.
The monster.
It is, and so this obviously will continue, but the trial officially started yesterday. Madonna has teamed up with Netflix and director Sean Levy for a limited series about her life. Now, he's the guy who did Deadpool and Wolverine and also helped to produce Stranger Things. So there's no word on what part of Madonna's life we're actually going to be focused on or who will portray her. But this is kind of, I mean, I'm down. I want to know more about Madonna's life.
What happened to this movie that was supposed to come out? Remember, it was the girl that was from Ozark. She was supposed to play
Julia
Madonna.
Garner.
Yeah,
that was scrapped.
I forgot all about that.
Remember they had Madonna cast already, and everybody's
right.
like, "Oh, this is going to be cool. She's a great actress."
Madonna
Kinda
also
looks like her.
was working on a screenplay, so I don't know if that was in conjunction to or was supposed to be the screenplay for that, or if it was an entirely separate thing. But I'm down to know more about Madonna's life, and I look forward to it. Metallica's show last Wednesday at Virginia Tech's Lane Stadium rocked in more ways than one. So the observatory there reported 2 tremors as the band ended their set for Enter Sandman, which has been the song for their football team since 2000. And I think this is so neat. I have actually some audio from Metallica playing at Virginia Tech if you want to hear what that would sound like. So the synchronized jumping by the more than 60,000 fans in attendance was responsible for the readings captured by the observatory. So here is what it sounded like, and you can just imagine the jumping.
Okay, here we go. This is Metallica. Glad we got it. Ha ha. I wonder how many times they've played this song.
I could probably tell you. Enter Sandman, specifically.
I can look it up.
Dude, does anybody else have this fascination like I do that I kind of, and I hope it's in the middle of the country because I don't want to trade this experience for a lot of property damage, but I really, really want to experience
an earthquake?
An earthquake, yeah. Not a major one necessarily. But like I said, I want to be out in the middle of the country and where there's no property damage or any of that kind of stuff. I just want
to hear the earth move?
Yes.
Well, that's fun. That's what whenever I was out in California, remember I've talked about this before, where I'd get that weird feeling, sensation, and it would be right before they hit. And
You
it was
clairvoyant
awesome
with
because I was
earthquakes?
and I was dating this girl at the time, and she was making dinner, and I felt it, and I accidentally grabbed her arm and go, "There's gonna be an earthquake." And at that time, it sounded like a train hit the building, just shook
You're a
super
witch.
hard, and it was awesome.
Whoa.
We had an earthquake here, and I remember feeling it. I remember hearing it was. I was down in South City living, and it sounded like there was a dumpster being dragged across the street.
I remember, somebody said that. I
Man.
remember that.
See, I want to feel it. I
I
don't
remember
know
my
what the
mom and dad
fascination
were
is.
staying with us. Man. And my dad right away is like, "That's an earthquake."
Imagine being mid-sex. That's had to have happened statistically.
Oh yeah, making
You're
an
in the
earth move.
middle of, and you're really going to town, and the bed starts going across the floor.
Yeah. Your ego probably has the greatest 10 seconds of its life.
That's what I'm saying.
By the way,
Metallica.
Okay. How
Metallica.
many times do you think that they have played Inner Sandman?
Well, the song came out in '91. Okay, so
So do your Metallica math right now.
it is
35.
It is a staple, pretty much of every concert.
Right. But they're not playing the same set.
They're not playing the same set, but that's recent.
Right.
It's been a hit for 30 years.
How many
30
times?
Almost 35
Yeah,
years.
almost 35 years. I'm going to say 980 times.
Okay. Moon.
I will say, so I am also including any sort of performances when they're on Stern or a radio station or, TV thing or whatever. I'm going to say 2007.
Rafe.
That averages just under 70 times a year.
Well, this
No.
is from their concert set list.
I'm going to
Yes.
say
So
6,000.
Moon, that would not count.
Okay, then I will
So
say.
these are from concert
Playing live.
concert set lists.
Then I will say 1,611.
Okay. Rafe.
30 years times probably 200 times a year. I'm going to say they sing it. 6,000 is my guess.
200 times a year?
And King.
I'm going to go a little less than that, and I'll say 4,321 times.
Okay. Well, Moon, you're not the closest because you
Okay.
went over. Congratulations to Scott Rizzuto. 1,429 times.
Nice.
It's
There
not
you
that
go.
much.
Dang, I was pretty
That wasn't
close.
too
Pretty good
crazy.
over.
You overshot it, would you say?
200, 1,611. It was 1,400 something.
Remember how we talked about Gene Simmons was offering this $12,000 be a roadie for a day package? For
Oh,
fans?
yeah. And we're making fun because it's like, all right, free labor.
Right.
In fact, you got to pay me. You got to pay me to work for me.
Yes. Well, somebody actually bought it. Man's 52 years old. He's a retired corrections officer from Middletown, New York. He and his 13-year-old son, they paid $12,495 to come work for Gene Simmons for the day. Had the best time ever.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that.
They had a blast. They hung out with the crew and the band. They ate dinner with Gene. They came out on stage. Gene autographed a guitar for them, made them the focal point of the night. This guy says he was interviewed by the New York Times, said it was worth every penny. Huge Kiss fan.
Listen, if you got the income,
Yeah.
if you got the money, you're a huge Kiss fan. It's a opportunity of a lifetime to hang out with your hero.
That's what he said. He goes,
Cool.
This is what I chose to spend my money on. You only live once, and I want to experience life. I'm not going to die with a lot of money. I'm going to die happy.
YOLO.
YOLO.
YOLO, guys.
Creed
Gene noises.
are coming to the Indianapolis 500. The band struck a deal with Meyer Shank Racing, and they have their logo now on the number 60 Honda that's driven by Felix Rosenquist. Of all four band members, they also attend the race, which will take place on May 25th in the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and
Good
of
for
course will
them.
be shown on Fox. So that's neat.
That's a perfect fit.
Anthony Kiedis from the Red Hot Chili Peppers now has his own coffee brand, and it's called Jolene. So it will be distributed at Live Nation festivals and venues if the Chili Peppers are playing.
He doesn't have any kids, does he, Anthony Kiedis?
Does he?
I don't think so.
Oh, no. Isn't that a good name for a decaf or a half-calf coffee?
Jolene?
Lean. A cup of Joe.
yeah.
It's lean.
Jolene.
Jolene.
He has one child. He has Everly Bear Kiedis, a
Also,
son.
like, kind of
He does.
encroaching on Dolly's territory a little bit here, Anthony.
Yeah, when you hear Jolene, it's automatically Dolly.
Yeah. I mean, shouldn't this be like
What if he's got a cat named Jolene or a dog?
cough of fornication or something?
Yeah.
Cough of fornication.
Throw a Chili Peppers.
Thank you.
I like it.
Throw a Chili Peppers.
Beans to
song on
squeeze.
there.
Yeah.
The Cannes Film Festival wants celebrities to have some modesty and decorum on the red carpet. So that means on Monday, the festival banned outfits that show nudity or are voluminous. Nude attire is pretty self-explanatory, but the voluminous outfits like dresses and capes with long trains are outlawed because the clothing hinders the flow of guest traffic and complicates the seating up in the theater.
Who did this?
This is the Cannes Film Festival.
Cannes Film
Oh,
Festival.
you know who they're talking to.
They're talking to one person, Kanye and his chick.
Yes, they really are. To crack down on them, YouTube has demonetized 2 channels known for their sophisticated fake film trailers, Screen Culture Screen Trailers and KH Studios Royal Trailers. We've seen some different things from these 2 YouTubers. So they were already suspended back in March after using AI to trick movie fans into thinking that their film trailers were actually real, generating revenue the whole time. And a Deadline investigation found that movie studios like Warner Brothers, Discovery, and Sony claimed ad revenue from Screen Culture, which has nearly 2 million subscribers, is obviously making money on things that don't exist. So YouTube's policy states that video creators need to change material significantly to make it their own. Videos can't be repetitive and must not be made simply to generate revenue. So they're going to go out of business. The new trailer for Brad Pitt's racing drama F1 is out. Did you see this?
I did not see the trailer. I knew he's been filming this thing for a long time now.
I'm curious.
Yeah, I think you've been talking about this, Moon. So this is the driver who returns to Formula One, and it's a fictional team on the grid. Brad Pitt is playing one of the drivers in it. Looks pretty cool. Looks like Moneyball, only for F1
Sweet.
racing.
Yeah, hopefully it's done better than Ad Astra.
Yeah, no doubt.
That can burn.
And finally, fall TV, always a big thing, even though a lot of people don't really watch regular TV. Like, we're all streaming now. I mean, I guess people are excited about this.
Yeah, but they also had, like, what's going to be on Netflix and what's going to be on Paramount. And I thought there was a couple interesting things on here.
Yeah, so NBC Universal unveiled its fall schedule yesterday, leaning heavily on the NBA, which NBC hasn't had the rights to since 2002. They've hired Michael Jordan to contribute to some NBA.
I think that's pretty awesome, I'll be honest with you.
I wonder how that's going to go. They're like, oh, Tom Brady's doing it over here. Let's do it with Jordan.
Well, Tom Brady does it on football. Wayne Gretzky does it for hockey. And now Michael Jordan's going to be doing it for the NBA on NBC.
I do love how the Apple TV thing, no matter what I'm watching, if I've favorited a team, Manchester United or, let's say it's the Memphis Grizzlies or something like that, it'll tell you like, oh, it's a close game. Do you want to tune in now?
That's cool.
It'll just flash the score up and say, hey, it's a close game. There's 2 minutes left in this.
That's smart.
It's awesome. God, dude.
That's a great technology for sports fans.
Cool.
NBC has also hyped its new comedy, The Fall and Rise of Reggie Dinkins, which is starring Tracy Morgan as a disgraced former football star trying to rehabilitate his image. Daniel Radcliffe also stars in it, and Tina Fey is among the producers. Let's see what else I can tell you about. There's a new competition series on brand with Jimmy Fallon coming to NBC where contestants will work with major companies on marketing campaigns. And, of course, they're bringing back The Voice and all of their Chicago and Law and Order shows, as well as The Paper, which is an Office spinoff starring Oscar Nunez. That's coming to Peacock in September. Fox also unveiled its fall schedule yesterday. The Floor, hosted by Rob Lowe, which is really excellent. That is going to take the time slot of The Masked Singer. Other shows, new show called Memory of a Killer is a dramatic thriller starring McDreamy, Patrick Dempsey as a hitman with early onset Alzheimer's, and Best Medicine, a 1-hour comedy starring Josh Charles as a
hitman with Alzheimer's.
Did you mention the Nick Cage thing?
No, I haven't gotten there yet.
Oh.
Do you want to go ahead?
No, go ahead, because my son was very excited about this.
First look at Nicolas Cage suited up for the live-action Spider Noir series has been unveiled. He's a version of Spider-Man who's also a private investigator in 1930s New York.
It looks good. Like Nick Cage as Spider-Man. It looks pretty good.
Does it?
Say what?
Yeah.
It's from the Spider-Verse thing.
It's from the Spider-Verse. It's a live action thing. And
you got a mask on, or what's that?
It's very shadowy.
Really?
Is our mystery guest here?
I don't know what's happening.
Oh, the fedora and the trench coat.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, our mystery guest.
Come on, Scott.
Is bring him in, for God's sakes. Ladies and gentlemen, our mystery guest.
What's up, homie?
There was an animal.
Right there, ladies and gentlemen, joining us, our good buddy who was sleeping in the parking lot.
Nice.
Steve-O! Oh, yeah, dude.
Steve-O and friend.
Yep, and Moon Pie.
Oh, and Moon Pie.
Moon Pie, get out of here. That's awesome.
I love that name.
Dude, good to see you, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Dude, good to see you too, man.
And it's funny, pulling into the radio station this morning. This giant urban camouflaged RV is in our parking lot, and Moon's like, "Oh, that's Steve-O's."
Oh, dude, that thing is so sick.
Yeah, it's pretty crucial.
Well, I know you are traveling the country.
Yeah.
In that thing. I mean, you're just going.
Yeah, but I'd switch back and forth between RVs. I've got
you've got a whole bunch. You got 3, right?
3, yeah. I got like the one like big bus, and I can't drive that, but this one I can drive.
So you got the and this is like a souped up 2025 Sunseeker RV, which you turned into a rugged overlander adventure rig. Yeah. Which I read about this thing in like an RV magazine. It's a big deal.
Dude, these things are like these.
Did you ever think you'd be in an RV magazine?
I don't know.
No, this thing's insane. So you are and from what I hear, you are working your way across country to train for and hopefully execute a genuinely life-threatening stunt.
I already pulled it.
Oh, you did it already?
Yeah.
It's already done?
Yeah. I got away with it.
Now, is this going to be for...
It's for the way that I do my live comedy is multimedia.
Mm-hmm.
So I go about like filming extra naughty stuff. Like I go out of my way to make sure that I film stuff that I would not even be allowed to film for Jackass, so that when I put together my multimedia show...
Right.
Like, people can know that they're going to see stuff that they just would not be able to see anywhere else.
Because, we saw your last... First of all, you put the special out.
Yeah.
We all saw it.
I go out of my way to be extra naughty.
And I remember, and I swear to God, so you'd sent over a link, I think it was a couple days before it came out.
Yeah,
so I was literally sitting in the parking lot ready to do a police officer fundraising trivia night, watching some of the most deviant, crazy stuff, and I'm thinking, I'm looking around, looking to see if there's cops ready to arrest me for what I'm watching. Congratulations, man. That's...
And the last tour, the one that you're talking about, I went around and every interview I could, I was like, oh no, I did this and I did that, and I kind of like spilled it all out so like everybody knew what they were gonna come see. And I've been really careful not to do this. So my life-threatening stunt that was wildly illegal, like I'm not saying what it was.
I'm not going to ask you. I'm not going to ask you. No. I mean, I've
absolutely gone to war to make this meet the standard that I've set, and that's not easy, man.
Well, my question was going to be, how could it get even? From what we saw last time, what is there left to do?
Yeah,
and I guess you found it.
Yeah. I mean, I went to war, man.
You went to war. Is that a hint as to
no.
what it could be? Did you go to Ukraine?
Oh no!
Yeah.
That was next time. He went to the front lines of the Ukrainian war. Israel.
So you're here this week at Helium, or
yeah,
just 2 days.
I got Wednesday night and Thursday night at Helium Comedy Club.
Are you talking about this particular stunt there?
Oh yeah, for sure. 100%.
Sweet.
Oh, so if you want Steve-O to spill the tea.
Is it in the show? Is it filmed and edited?
For sure.
Oh,
so you can see it?
Yeah, it's a multimedia show.
Okay, because I thought maybe you were kind of working your way, just working out material for what's going to be.
No, this is the real deal. This is the Crash and Burn tour. And my last tour had like 10 video breaks. This one's got 40 videos.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh. Dude, and the last one you were talking about people throwing up and stuff in the back.
Yeah, people have passed out at every show on the last tour. Only one guy has passed out on this one.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the last tour, people vomiting literally in the aisles.
Yeah.
Passing out.
Yeah.
And you've outdone yourself with this new thing.
It's different. I mean, like, I don't know, the last time with the vasectomy and
the duty and the fan. And
the spinal tap. Yeah.
The joeing while parachuting, that's also...
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So freeing.
So free.
Yeah.
That's so free.
I definitely... I I think each one that I've done has just gotten better. I don't know, like.
I don't want to give too much away.
Right.
You know, I want people to go out to Helium tomorrow on Thursday to go see you. It's one show per night only, 7 o'clock for both nights. And of course, you do your multimedia thing. You get up there, you talk, you tell the stories.
Oh, dude, this show is absolutely funnier. It's a lot better.
It's amazing to see your evolution. From when you first started doing stand up, and you're on the show. I don't know how many years ago. And you really are now like a respected traveling comedian. And Rafe, who's been in stand up for a long time, and you could attest to that. What were the reactions of comics when Steve-O started?
Well, I think the reaction is always when someone outside of comedy starts comedy, and I'm sure you went through it, is just like, oh, we'd go through it now with like TikTok and all that stuff. It's like, oh, here we go, somebody coming into our space. But it's like, and not all comics are like that, but the general, I'm sure you went through it, man.
Sure.
And, but the people that respect it and like learn to do the craft always get the bump, man. And I feel like you transcended that a long time ago. Where I feel like everyone, because we have a lot of friends in common, Jeremiah Watkins, people like that in LA.
Rad.
Like, your name is you're never put in a separate category. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're just like, hey, he's a stand-up. Like, and there's people that do that. There's people that like get into stand-up and learn to do the craft and get really good at it, and he's one of them.
That's awesome.
There's people that do the cash grab, but it's like, I'm not even mad about that, honestly, because I'm just like, hey, dude, like, if you've earned it and you can go out and tour and sell tickets, go do it,
Right, I mean, here's what it is.
How did you feel? Did you feel welcomed?
It was a mixed bag. Some people were not
so nice.
Not so nice. Some people were super fine, but it's not about what other comics think. This is a very democratic process.
Yep.
Like if you go out there and you waste people's time, then they're not going to come back.
Right.
Right. And I've been on the circuit for 15 years now.
Wild.
Dang.
Yeah, and so like everywhere that I've gone, I do well enough that I come back.
Yeah, and people come see you. That's how they vote. Who
honestly,
cares what the other people are saying? People are buying tickets to come and see you.
That's always my argument too, dude. Is I'm like, when comics complain about anybody, as I'm like, you're just mad because they have the thing we're all working towards, which is an audience. And as long as they're entertaining their audience and honoring that exchange of like, because if you go up there and do the same act 3 or 4 times in a row, they won't come back to see you, just like you said. But like, you're always turning material over, and it's funny, dude. It's engaging and it's entertaining. So like, kudos to you.
Well, thanks, man. And like, I think I taped my first special like maybe a little too soon. That one was I taped it in 2015, but it was the best I was capable of at the time. And same with my second special, same with my third special, and each one like is sort of committed to film at that stage that I was at, and so each one you just see improvement, and that's what makes me happy.
And you know, you could also say the same about your podcast, which I know Lern listens to it.
Yep.
The Wild Ride podcast.
So much.
You're welcome.
Your interviewing skills have gotten
Dude, they're awesome.
so much better from when you first started, and I don't mean that as an insult.
No, dude, by all means. Like, I had no idea of this starting a podcast that, like, what my expectation was and what happened. It's like, wow, I'm learning how to communicate better.
You're learning how to interview people.
Yeah, a little bit.
And you get some great guests.
I've been fortunate, man. There's been some good ones, and it's been over 5 years. It's crazy.
You just had the guy on that the Live Forever guy, Ryan Johnson.
We
watched it.
I just watched that documentary. It's wild.
Like I'm really into that guy. Everyone just craps on him so bad.
He's a weirdo.
He is a weirdo. I'll give you that. But like everyone craps on what he's doing. With like saying that, oh great, you're gonna live forever, but what kind of quality of life do you have?
I look pretty happy.
You guys are the same to me.
In a way, I mean, I spoke with him, and I was like, everyone give me such a hard time, like, oh, what kind of a life are you living? Like, and I so wholeheartedly disagree, because you have gamified anti-aging to a point where, like, clearly you are fulfilled in every little every little bit. And when people criticize him, man, like what I hear them saying is that they want to be one of 8 billion people roaming the world. You know, this guy wants to be exceptional.
Yeah, and he is. I mean, okay, so
awesome.
it's easier for him because he's a tech millionaire and he's got all the money he needs and he doesn't have a 9-to-5 job and he's got the resources to do all this stuff to his body. And the documentary on Netflix is fascinating.
It is.
And he used to be a heavyset guy, like a nerd. And now he's like,
he's very reptilian.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he's great, man.
But you said it, dude. Like when you gamify anything, and that's why I think that kind of attitude and his whole story can be so inspiring to anybody. Because when you do find a way to gamify any sort of change in life, that in itself is fulfilling. When you start winning the game. You know, I remember we were playing Good or Gross with these awful jelly beans not long ago. You know, like I think you were like on a weight loss journey at the time.
Yeah,
no sugar, no sugar,
and you wouldn't even eat a jelly bean. And I was like, that is awesome because you would like fully committed to a life change. And when you gamify it, like you said, you start winning on a daily basis, and you're like, you know what I mean? And that in itself can be fulfilling. So it can be inspiring to non-millionaire tech guys.
I think that
as well.
What maybe 2 weeks ago that podcast episode came out.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
But you've had some very interesting people on there, and who have you found most fascinating in the couple of years you've done the podcast? Was any surprises? First of all, I loved your Maynard from Tool interview.
Yeah,
I'm just a fan like you are, and you totally geeked out.
I was falling all over myself over Maynard. It was an embarrassing moment. Maynard was epic.
He was almost like Chris Farley when he did Paul McCartney on SNL. Remember when? That's what it was.
Yeah.
Gene Simmons was great when you had him on.
He was like, I caught Gene Simmons on a particularly grumpy day.
Dude, I was right there with you. As somebody who tries to get something out of an interviewee and they're not playing the game, it's tough, man.
Yeah, it was a really tough one. I think my favorite was Chris Smith, the director. I'm not Chris. Jane Silent Bob.
Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith.
I called him Chris Smith. Sorry, I just woke up in an RV. Kevin Smith.
That was a good one too.
Kevin Smith was Duncan Trussell, the first one I did with him. I loved him.
You did Chris Angel recently, right?
Yeah, Chris Angel
was a great one too.
Especially like when he came after David Blaine. It's like whoa.
Mark Wahlberg was good too.
Yep, Trailer Park Boys was awesome.
That one was.
Trailer Park Boys. That was recent.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've had you put them at ease. I mean, first of all, you go to their house or wherever they're at. So the whole concept of your wild ride is you take the RV or the big bus and you go to where they are.
Yeah, that's rad. It's instantly disarming because you're in their scene, so they're just like chatting.
Tony Hinchcliffe said that. He's like, man, you just came to me and I just walked out of my living room and I was disarmed and I said all this stuff.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, usually when you're on your way to do an interview, you have a chance to all right, I'm gonna not talk about this. Yeah. I'm gonna prepare myself mentally. But if you're walking out of your house and you're there within 10 steps.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I appreciate you guys so much. I hit up Moon yesterday.
Yeah,
like, oh, dude, he's like, yeah, come on in.
Yeah, well, you were supposed to come in on Thursday. We had you on the schedule for Wednesday or Thursday. No, it's great. And he's like, hey, man, Steve wants to come in on Tuesday. I'm like, dude.
Yeah, I came into town early to go to the big Post Malone show tonight.
That's right, tonight with Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
Post Malone Jelly Roll. And you have your Post Malone tattoo.
I was say, any more tattoos on
still on your
face?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over Steve-O's right eye is a Post Malone tattoo of a penis.
Yeah, a post.
Yeah.
What was the plan there? Because that was something that went viral. Is you backstage at the Post Malone show?
Yeah, I mean the plan is just to see how long I last before I tap out and get it lasered off.
It's still there, buddy.
Yeah, man, I'm going strong.
And how long's it been?
We're coming up on a year.
October, September.
No, it was June.
June.
Holy smokes!
Whoa,
dude, that's amazing. Because my son was actually asking about you a couple weeks ago. I think he saw something. He goes, "Hey, when is Steve-O coming back to town?" I was like, "Oh, it's actually pretty soon." And he goes, "You gotta see if that tattoo's still there, man. I'm really curious." I was like, "Oh, you know about that?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, everybody knows about that."
Oh, it's the first thing you see.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, man.
What does your wife think about it?
Well, you know what? Like, I was engaged. I'm not engaged anymore.
Oh, you're not engaged anymore?
No way.
My lady and I, I think we had the most amicable breakup of all time, and we're still running our animal sanctuary.
I hate to hear that because she was a big part of the
yeah, she was.
Last year.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
Dude, it's all good. I think we're both like perfectly fine. I moved to Tennessee. And
yeah, you got that big place in Nashville.
Yeah, I got this big property in Tennessee, and when I got there, I just I felt like I could breathe. I was meant to be there. She did not feel like she was meant to be there.
It's a lifestyle. Is she an LA person? I mean, is she a California person?
Yeah, she is. And I mean, to be fair, like my world kind of just goes with me. Wherever I go, like all of my stuff just still happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty simple in that regard. But it's not as easy for her, to leave like her work and her friends. Like it was tough.
But even I wouldn't say. Are you? I mean, off the grid in a way. I mean,
I'm out of the way.
You're out of the way. But
Yeah.
the Steve-O lifestyle follows you.
Yeah, I mean,
to Tennessee.
Yeah, like what needs to get done needs to get done, and so it happens. It does not inhibit my my livelihood. And it was weird. Like right after we moved there, I compare it to, like, say, alcoholism, right? Alcoholism, someone's just drinking, like that can go on for decades. But once hard drugs enter the mix, then like the process speeds up and people will like hit rock bottom sooner, and then the change will happen. Like, I think that in our relationship, there was a dynamic which I would maybe compare to alcoholism. And then the move to Tennessee was like the hard drugs that just sped it up,
So moving to Tennessee is like being on heroin.
Right, a little bit. And
Wow.
what sped up, and then, credit to my lady, she was like, like being in a relationship with you is, of course, exciting. It's fun. But it comes at a cost. It comes at a cost. Like she was legitimately concerned about.
I hope you're in the middle of your face tattoo when she said that. Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
What costs?
Really?
Yeah, like her identity. Like her. She's like, like trapped in the Steve-O show.
Yeah.
Like,
can't get away from it.
Right, and
you can't have a normal life.
she's like, I want to pursue my stuff, like I want to have my own thing, and she just kind of like sacrificed her identity a lot, and that she kind of yearned to make her own way. It's like how many years does she want to be down that track and be like, man, I could have been my own person. I could have, I could have forged my own path, had my own thing, but I was, in the Steve show. And I just respect that a lot,
Like, almost like, another thing, right? Like, it's like, what does she do? More Steve-O stuff. Like,
Right.
We can't have a normal existence.
Right.
The circus is going to follow you around.
Yeah. She works in the entertainment industry. She's like set design, prop stylist, like, all the kind of aesthetics of production. And she's really talented, man. She's super talented. And Like she feels really at home in L.A.
Sure. That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, like there's no. You know, we're in contact every day. We talk on the phone. I love you. You know, like
right.
Whole thing.
So she's back in L.A. and are you full time down in Tennessee?
I'm pretty full time on the road, and that kind of drove her nuts too. So. Yeah, I don't know. It's all good, man.
Have people figured out where you are in Tennessee and have shown up?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. They 100% knew precisely where I lived, like way before I even got there. You know, the guy who sold me the property, like you know, there was just this uproar. Like apparently, like some like Facebook, you know, group for the whole city.
Oh yeah, because they thought you were bringing explosions and all sorts of
Yeah, they're
wild
like,
crap.
what do you know? Especially because I was
What are
talking,
your intentions with this piece of property?
Yeah, I was talking about like we're gonna open up an animal sanctuary, so they just thought like, oh, there's gonna be like all you know, like just traffic coming through and everything. It's not the case.
Like Steve-O's Animal Safari?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
like,
please.
We bought a
What is he
zoo.
doing to those animals?
yeah. But I, you know, like I've been there. I got the place at the end of 2023, so. I've been there like a year and a half. I love it, dude.
And do you know the neighbors? I mean,
My neighbors are so epic.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love I really lucked out on my neighbors.
That's rad.
Yeah,
rad.
I super lucked
Did you
out.
bring the half pipe or did you leave it?
I did. I totally brought
Oh,
the half pipe.
sick.
Yeah, I had the half pipe
Yeah, dude.
with where because I was in the Hollywood Hills, so like the hill came down, meaning that the balcony of my house was like way above it, and I hung this rope which swung like a pendulum back and forth, so you can hold on to the rings.
And drop
you can
in.
skateboard with impunity. Like if you fell, you're
That's
just holding
amazing.
on.
Nice.
And so when I brought the ramp to Tennessee, I built a 22-foot tall barn, so it was high enough to hang my rings from.
Yeah, I don't know what your neighbors are worried about, man.
Yeah,
This
I mean,
Facebook group needs to lighten up. Like, there was a half pipe and a tannerite in a U-Haul.
yeah, jeez. Listen, there's there's a lot of things on the internet that a batch of people read. They don't understand what's going on. They, maybe these neighbors just looked up your name and were like, "Oh my God, this guy's bringing the weirdness to this little town."
I think that I've effectively quelled the outrage.
Yeah.
You know, like I've gone, I've been out there and, I don't know, man. Like I just make an effort when I meet people. Like every encounter, is an opportunity to get people stoked.
Well, that's what I was about your podcast, and even talking about your relationship. It's a double-edged sword, probably, man. I would imagine, like when you're an addict and stuff like that, and I'm one as well, so I get it. And it's like you kind of put everything out there.
Sure.
So it's like people feel like they know you, so they probably feel like it is disarming to be in their living room, but it's also probably disarming because they feel like it's that parasocial relationship where like they feel like they know everything about you, so they feel a little safe divulging to you.
Yeah.
I would imagine. And you're an affable dude. Even the guy you were talking about, the lizard guy, like he was a Mormon.
Yeah.
The dude was a Mormon before, and I'm like, that's it. Addicts tend to have that all or nothing behavior, so do religious zealots. So it's like he's kind of transferred that all or, when you're doing the bad stuff and you're an addict, you go all in. But when you're doing good stuff, like you're doing no sugar, you go all in. And it's you can use it to your advantage if you use it wisely, to go all in on certain things. And I just, I think that when you meet people that they probably have that. They feel like they already know you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's just been cool, man. It's been cool, and I got 44 acres.
Nice.
Dang, that's
a lot of
so
land.
Dude, that's the
Yeah.
dream, dude.
Yeah,
That's
it
my
is.
dream.
Yeah. So and now it's fully official 501c3 nonprofit.
Nice.
status.
Congratulations.
Sweet,
That's
dude.
amazing.
You're I wish I could be you. Like, do you ever get anxious? I'm a real anxious person. Really?
Well, yeah.
Like, because you do I've seen all the movies, I've watched everything. Like, you're naked all the time. You literally have no secrets, like no boundaries or it seems that way. I'm sure you do, but I look at you and I'm like, God, I wish I could be more like him. You know? I do. I want to open an animal sanctuary and show
Gets
We can
My
take you
nuts
to,
to
hey,
a
we can
crowd,
take you to the
you
tattoo
know?
shop and get a dong on your face today.
Are you in town? When are you leaving town? So you're doing Wednesday and Thursday?
Yeah, I'll head back to the ranch on Friday morning.
Because we got Point Fest on Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, darn it.
And remember the last time you were at Point Fest?
Yeah, dude, that was a blast.
You introduced Greek Fire with the goat.
Yeah.
my mother was backstage. She got the
she got the front of that.
She saw the back burger.
The crowd saw the back burger. His mom saw the front burger.
And they recorded her voice whenever she saw it.
That's the best, dude.
Hey, listen. So Steve-O's here. See him at Helium Comedy Club Wednesday and Thursday. We're gonna take a break. You
Yeah,
know
dude,
all right?
I'm stoked to hang, man.
I mean, you're living in the parking lot, basically, in
For sure.
a giant urban camo RV.
Yeah,
very
man, I love
inconspicuous, by the way.
Yeah, I can't even see it.
All right, we'll take a break. Let's play a little game after. Rafe, I got two things here. Do you want to do the read my lips game, or you want to do something else?
Whatever you want to do. What's your second thing? I have read my lips ready, but
Yeah,
you
what
can
else
do
do you
whatever.
I got Steve-O outrageous fact or fiction.
Nice.
Maybe we'll do both. Hey, listen, Steve-O's here.
We got tickets to give away.
We got tickets to give away. So up after the break, let's give away Point Fest tickets. So here's what I'll do. I'll read you a statement, and you tell us if it's something Steve-O actually did or if it's something completely made up from the internet. And, you'll give a story for the true stuff.
Love it.
314-624-3833, 618-398-3833. Point Fest tickets are up for grabs. Steve-O's here. All right, 8:04. Tuesday, traffic and weather. Moon coming at you.
Traffic is brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues. We have delays 270 westbound between Dorset and Olive. We also have delays 270 eastbound between 55 and Gravois. Your point forecast, a couple thunder showers are possible later. High of 79 right now at 65 at the Point Studio.
All right, welcome back to the Rizz Show. Our buddy Steve-O is here.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude. Steve's been living in the parking lot, literally.
Traveled all night, still got up early.
Hey.
To hang with us.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was talking to Mir, and it's like, I'm going to set an alarm anyway. If it was 10 a.m., I'm setting
Right.
an alarm. Doesn't matter when.
Well, you're traveling the country in your big camo RV, very inconspicuous.
I call it the ass kicker.
The ass kicker, the ass kicking RV. That's nice.
Yeah, it started out as a regular Class C motorhome. First thing I took it to get wrapped in camouflage. Then I took it to get lifted and
dude, I got all the
4x4.
specs on it. The RV now rides on a Ford F550 4x4 chassis, sits high on off-road tires, sports a lifted suspension, added armor. You have armor on that? That thing's.
I don't know about added armor, but
That's what it says in the RV interview.
Oh, wow. Okay, sick.
You don't even know.
I misprinted. He got an armoire.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
It's very nice.
There's a bidet in there.
Is it really? Nice.
Yeah, dude, ever since I had got my podcast sponsored by Tushy, and I got the Tushy bidet, dude, there's life before the bidet.
I agree with you, man. We've been talking about bidets on this show for a long time. Yeah. We are your bidet morning show.
Mm-hmm.
It's so crucial.
We are all subscribers.
I'm just in there blasting my pooper.
Yeah. And no good for the environment, too.
Yeah, really good for the Yeah. I can't get enough.
Actually, breaking it down, you have people in countries who got to, they got to walk a mile to go get fresh water, and we're blasting streams of fresh water up our tushes.
It's true.
It's good to be in America, guys.
It really is, man.
So you got the armor, you got the winches, you got extra lighting. It's more like a survival vehicle than anything else.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Solar panels.
And, dude, like, over 6 miles a gallon.
Over 6? Whoa. Nice.
That's before the trailer. Yeah.
Yeah, and you got a trailer. But it's got solar panels, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. And dude, I souped it up with insane amounts of house battery.
Nice.
It didn't even have an inverter when I got it, like which you want to have. Like otherwise, before if I wanted to make coffee, I had to turn on the generator. Mm-hmm. Whack.
Lame. No, that's a sweet RV, my friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm hyped on it.
And you came to town early. Your buddy Post Malone is playing down at Busch Stadium today with Jelly Roll. Going to show off that tattoo you still got from Post Malone on your face.
Yeah.
Did you call him and be like, hey man, I'm coming to town? Or do your people call his people? How does that work out?
It's like his main dude is my guy. Just hit him up. It's like, yo, dude,
hook me up. You think you're gonna see him tonight?
I think so.
Nice.
I mean, we'll see. I'm told that because I'm traveling with my buddy Preston Lacey.
Oh,
yes. Preston's opening my shows on this run, and he's great. I love him so much. And then I got my lunatic merch guy. So I hit him up like, hey man, can I get like three of me in? It's, yeah, okay, cool. We're gonna set you up in a private viewing area.
Whoa!
And I'll check the vibes backstage and see what's going on. So no promises that we're gonna be all in the mix in the backstage, but I imagine
I'm gonna check the vibes. What does that mean?
I don't know. I mean, I guess there's a lot that I don't know.
Well, Post Malone's a big weed smoker.
Yeah, I mean,
is that a problem if you're backstage?
He's the nicest dude. I think it's actually a toss-up between Post Malone and Jelly Roll. Like, who's the nicest guy ever to live?
Oh, those are two big potheads too. You don't have a problem with?
I don't like to breathe in pot.
Well, I know with the whole Bill Maher controversy.
Yeah, because then it's like secondhand smoke. It's entering my body. I just don't like that. Plus, the other thing is that I love the way it smells. It's upsetting to me.
I was the same way with cocaine.
Nice.
You love the way it smells?
Love the way it smells, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember seeing this. Some random video, and it was a surveillance camera on the side of a venue or something, and nobody's around. Post Malone comes out and he's just wearing it, you can see in this footage just ah.
Yeah.
But then these fans come up, and when the fans come up, he just lights up, and he's just like, oh yeah, And then when the fans are done and walks out, you see he's like, ugh.
That's good, yeah.
It was so, because that's just how when nobody's watching, how you are when nobody's watching.
Yeah.
So many people would be the other way around. Yeah, I'm cool, and then fans come up oh,
get away from me.
Deal with you. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, leave me alone. And it was just so
I've heard nothing but positive about that guy.
Absolutely, that's the case.
I think the last time he was here, did he not fall through the stage?
Yeah, he was in a
right.
blues jersey. There's like a little opening kind of thing where
see if you could find that. He's in a blues jersey.
It was down. He busted up some ribs, bruised ribs.
Oh yeah,
but he still finished the show.
He still finished the show. He was at the arena, and I guess he had an elaborate stage set up, and didn't see one of the trap doors was open. And dude,
oh wow!
When you fall and you don't realize you're gonna fall.
Yeah, I mean, he thunked. He thunked on his ribs.
See if you can find that. Yeah, it's supposed to be a great show.
I don't doubt that it will be, man. It's gonna be.
He's a good dude, man. Like when I did the Netflix festival last year, and they let all the comics in the back room at the Comedy Store, and then they'd be like, "It's too crowded. We're over capacity. Get out." And it was just Post Malone coming in and out. If Post Malone came in, everyone got cleared out unless you were
they hadn't
a
checked
big
the
dog.
vibes.
And then eventually on his third time in, he goes, "You can stop kicking everybody out, man. It's fine." He had to call off everyone getting shimmied out of this room because he'd go out to have a cigarette and it would fill back up. Then we'd come in from having a smoke.
He's checking the
He
vibes.
was a super nice guy, man.
Here's a video.
So here's Post Malone.
Watch this dude. He hits hard.
Oh, right on his ribs too. Oh, and you could tell that hurt.
Yeah.
That'll take the wind right out of you. Poor dude's wearing a blues jersey too.
Almost like he hit his head.
Steve-O, question from the texter here. Wonder if we'll ever see another Jackass movie, and will Steve-O be in it?
I think it's unlikely, but if there were to be a Jackass movie, I wouldn't I would absolutely be in it.
Yeah, of course. And does Steve-O know what Poopies is doing these days?
He's working construction.
Poopies is working construction?
Yeah, which is.
If you saw the last movie, Poopies was a big part of it.
Yeah, the last movie, Poopies was the breakout star.
Yeah.
And he's working construction in and around Austin, Texas. And I've seen him twice in the last, I don't know, few months. I love the guy.
So if he's waiting for the call
he got clean
too.
and sober too.
Oh, that's good.
That's
He got clean and sober. Like it's not a big secret, but he was like deep into the crystal meth, and without he was an absolute disaster. And now clean and sober, I think that working a normal job, being a clean and sober guy is just filled with gratitude. He's like, I'm very happy for
That's
him.
awesome.
And he's got a lady that kind of keeps him in line too.
Yeah, nice. All right, Steve-O is here. Let's give away some Point Fest tickets. And today's contest is sponsored by
CarStar, your auto body repair expert. Hail damage. See them at carstar.com.
So it's too bad you're not here for Saturday's Point Fest. We'd love to have you.
It's a ripping show, too.
We got 311, The Urge, Toadies, Finger 11, Ludo, and many, many more at the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. So,
yeah, man, it's so tempting to stick around for it.
But you got a place to stay.
I think, I do have a place to stay. I think I'm booked with John C. Reilly.
Whoa!
To record the podcast.
That's awesome.
I'm excited.
Whoa, that's cool.
Yeah.
Walk hard, baby.
That's cool. All right, so here's the game. It's Steve-O, outrageous fact or fiction. I will read you a statement on the phone here. You tell us if it's something that Steve-O actually did or if it's something that is an internet rumor.
Okay. 2
out of 3 right, you win Point Fest tickets. So, Steve, you want to throw on those headphones so you can hear the callers. 314-624-3833, 618-398-3833. Kim. Hello, Kim.
Yes. Hello.
Say hi to Steve-O.
Hi, Steve-O.
Hello.
And you can see Steve-O tomorrow and Thursday at Helium Comedy Club with a whole new multimedia extravaganza.
And just one show each night, right? Just one. So, like, get the tickets now, man. Those both sell out.
Kim, true or false? Steve-O once set a world record by juggling 3 flaming chainsaws while riding a unicycle across the Grand Canyon.
False.
She says false. Did that happen?
That is false.
That is false. Excellent. One correct. Would you ever consider doing that?
It was the Royal Gorge.
I'm not that good at unicycling.
But you can juggle, though.
I can juggle.
Can you juggle chainsaws?
I don't think I can juggle chainsaws.
Dang it.
I know.
We have one. We could.
It's amazing to hear you say that you don't think you can do something. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't think
And
that
it's juggling chainsaws.
Say you wouldn't try.
That's true.
Kim, fact or fiction, Steve-O performed a stunt where he superglued himself to a billboard in Los Angeles completely naked.
True.
That is?
Almost true. I was duct taped to a billboard in Los Angeles, and I was wearing a diaper because I thought I might be on there for a couple days.
Should we give it to her?
Give it to her.
Let's give it to her. All right, we'll see you at Point Fest, Kim. When was that?
That was in August of 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Wasn't that the whole thing?
They had helicopters up there.
There was a large police presence, was there not?
Yeah, and oof. I kind of have some trauma around that. Like, now I had 2 cranes of my own to get me down. I was like, hey, you know what? Like, I'm not here to waste resources of emergency responders. Like, but they were like, we can't let you get yourself down. At this point now, so the fire trucks with the big ladders. And,
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did everything I could to not be a jerk who wasted the resources.
That made national news. I mean, that was a big deal.
That was $8,000 very well spent on that billboard.
Yeah. So you duct taped yourself to the billboard. Cops came. You were arrested.
No. They said he bought the billboard.
Right on.
Yeah.
Do what you want with it?
Man, LA's a magic place, isn't it?
Yeah, I was not arrested. I did not even get a ticket.
Holy cow.
And I was so sensitive because I had really badly wasted emergency responders time with a stunt where I was protesting SeaWorld on top of this big crane, and it was like this crazy standoff, and I just didn't want to repeat of that, and I felt bad about that still. So I turned around after the billboard thing in LA, and I got like 1,000 prints of this killer photo of me on the billboard, signed them all, and I was like, I'm going to sell all these autographed prints for $25. You know, and all of the money is going to the fire department. I'm going to match everything. So I put together $25,000 from selling the signed prints and matched it.
Oh, that's
so
nice.
I donated to the fire department $50,000.
Oh, that's cool.
That's rad.
And
That's
then
cool.
and I got one of those gigantic checks printed out so I could take a photo, like holding it up with the fire chief.
Yeah.
To really milk the moment.
And did you get that picture taken?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's great.
Big time, man.
We did.
And he built a really big bank.
No, you know, I bring that up because I don't want to mention the charity, okay? And you know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, I know
here.
what you're saying.
So we did a charity thing. It was a couple of us got into bikinis, and we did like a bikini car wash,
Nice.
and for charity, and the charity wouldn't take it
Oh, yeah? Why?
because they didn't want to be associated with bikini car wash.
Because it was risque. We're trying to give you
But
a
you guys look so
large
good.
amount of money.
Why wouldn't they want to be associated with such a thing?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
It was weird.
I mean, it's not like it was anything bad.
No, I mean,
It was
we looked-
interesting. It was
we
an
looked-
interesting
How much-
situation.
How
we
much
look
money
pretty
did you
good.
guys raise?
$2,000.
That's nice.
I know.
What'd you do with the money?
We had we kind of backdoored it. We still gave it to the charity, but
They didn't know.
they didn't know.
Like
So
incrementally.
yeah, man.
I mean, I recently had I suppose, a similar situation. I all of a sudden asked myself, like, if I really care about being a good guy, being on a spiritual path, doing the right thing, like, what am I doing with the promoting gambling? You know, like I had like a little, and I was like, I don't want to do that. So I mean, that maybe that I did the same thing as the charity. Like I ended my relationship. It
Won't
was a
take the money.
lucrative opportunity to,
Right.
to get paid well to promote gambling. I just
Yeah, I saw that.
I won't do it anymore.
I saw that clip that you put
Yeah.
up from the. That was from the podcast, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was when and this was the thing, when I had Mark Wahlberg on my podcast, I was like, you know what, man, like, I went through like it's kind of a rough patch, and I was like, the way out of this is spirituality, man. I was like, dude,
And
like,
that's the guy.
And I was like, I just don't like I got to put my relationship with God first, and that's just like my faith in the universe, like whatever you want to call it, man. Like that's got to be my deal. And I had the audacity to cut from that conversation to an ad read for gambling. And it occurred to me, like, after the podcast went out, I was like, oh my God, like, I don't even have to look at the comments section. I can just totally see, like, people just roasting me for being such a gnarly hypocrite. And that's when comments bother me. It was when I agree with them.
Right, yeah.
I was like, I just can't do it anymore.
close to home.
I got to walk the walk, you know? So yeah, maybe that's like their heart was in the right place, not taking the money for the bikini car wash. It seems a little silly.
It's silly to me, but
I mean, bikini car washes are not ruining people's lives.
No.
Gambling is absolutely destroying people's
Well,
lives.
bet on bikini car washes, though.
listen, that charity got their money, so
Yeah, they did.
Good on
Yeah.
you.
Mark Wahlberg's sending the most winded prayers up to God, too, isn't he? Just the
he's
most
always
heavy-
out of breath.
Yeah, he's sending prayer. Hey, dear God, stay prayed up, you know. My name is Steve-O. He's giving up gambling.
All right, let's Steve,
I
outrageous
love Mark Wahlberg too.
outrageous fact or fiction. Tim, hello.
Hey, what's going on?
All right, say hi to Steve-O.
Hi, Steve-O. Hey, give me a shout-out for my birthday, Steve-O.
Well, happy birthday, you old bastard.
Thank you. I am getting old. It's okay.
All right, Tim, Steve-O, fact or fiction. He once drank a goldfish, then regurgitated it alive into a fishbowl on camera.
I'm going to say that one's true.
That is,
That is absolutely true.
and that's one of your more famous.
That's one of the
Yeah,
early
and-
ones.
one of the early ones.
That is the first thing I filmed for the TV series, and I had that idea up my sleeve for like a year and a half. Could have filmed it at any time, but I was like, no, I'm saving this. This one's going to be big. I'm saving this for the right moment. And
And it hit, man.
Yeah, it hit with me. Like I still remember.
Yeah.
It. You go, this one's called the goldfish trick.
well,
And
no,
I was
I
like,
didn't. I couldn't even say that because it was the first thing I filmed for MTV, and I was so nervous. I was like, so Knoxville said, "I'm Johnny Knoxville, and this is Steve-O. He's gonna do the gold."
Yeah, the way that it was delivered, when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, this is something that people have been doing for decades. Like the way it was presented was like, this is a very famous trick that only very certain people could do.
Right. And I remember after I puked it out and it hit the water in the bowl, it hit the water swimming.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, it did. Freedom.
after like battling for 2 minutes to barf that out. And I remember Knoxville right there, he said, well, Steve-O, if you weren't already famous, I'd say you're going to be now.
Yeah. And whatever happened with that goldfish?
There's a... like
Did the PA take it home?
It was just a guy walking down the street, you know, maybe a homeless guy, and we were like, hey, do you want this? And he's like, yeah.
Nice. And
So
he
he
still
took
lives
the
out
goldfish?
there.
And, the
And
goldfish?
he's like 50 feet long now. He's living in the world.
It's big fish.
All right, Tim. Steve-O, fact or
Yes, sir.
fiction. Steve-O got a tattoo of a smiley face on his butt using ink mixed with his own blood and hot sauce.
I'm going to say false on that one.
He says false.
That is false.
That is false. All right, my
But
friend.
I did get a smiley face tattoo on my butt with MGK shooting BBs into my butt. Like I did like the eyes, and then he did the whole row for the smiley face.
Yeah.
And then I smeared tattoo ink on it over, and it's on there.
And it's hell.
Yeah,
How about that? Congrats, Tim.
My MGK BB gun tattoo.
Nice.
Wow.
Very good.
All right, let's go to Neil. Hello, Neil.
Hey.
All right, say hi to Steve-O.
Hey, Steve-O.
Yeah, dude.
All right, true or false? Steve-O was once shot out of a cannon while wearing a tutu, landing in a pool of Jell-O.
True.
That is not true. This is
That is not true.
this is an enjoyable game. Like when
Are you getting any ideas?
You have to actually think a little bit.
I mean,
When you hear some of these, are you kind of like, did I do that?
it's just there's something like that makes me very proud that people have to think.
It can go either way.
Yeah, was he shot out of a cannon in a tutu into a vat of Jell-O?
Yeah. All right. How about this one, Neil? Steve-O went on a celery-only diet for 30 days while locked in a glass box in Times Square as a publicity stunt.
False.
He says false.
That is false.
That is false. Nice. Nice. Yeah, no celery-only diet, huh?
Not in New York. It would have been
Not in New York.
down in Tennessee or something, maybe.
All right. Final one, Neil. Steve-O broke into a zoo after hours, stripped naked, and tried to, quote, blend in with the baboons.
False.
That is false.
That
I could see something like that on Wild Boys, maybe.
All right, let's go to Vicky in St. Louis. Hello, Vicky.
Hey, happy birthday, Rizz. It's my birthday, too.
Oh, and you're talking to Steve-O. What a great birthday.
Hi, Steve-O. I've been watching you since I was a little kid.
I love it.
All right, true or false, Vicky? Steve-O once let an alligator bite him on his ass for a YouTube video.
Oh, that's true.
That is?
That is. I had an alligator bite me on my ass for Wild Boys. Went on to put it on YouTube.
Okay, so it counts.
Yeah.
That counts. That counts. True. True or false? Steve-O once performed a headstand on the wing of a flying airplane.
I'm going to say that's false.
Yeah, not on the wing.
Not on the wing. All right. Congratulations, Vicky.
Way to go, Vicky.
Not on the wing.
Well, I mean, like there's been airplane acrobatics.
You're incredible. That's amazing.
Kelsey.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right. Steve-O once snorted a line of wasabi.
Oh, absolutely true.
Yeah, that's big time true.
That's a big time
I
true
actually
one.
did it recently too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did a 20 years later, like recreating some of the big ones.
No way.
It's been
Yeah.
20 years,
The
huh?
wasabi
Dude,
snooters.
25. This year will be the 25th anniversary of the first episode on MTV.
Yeah, the
Holy
wasabi
smokes.
snooter.
That was the first movie, which was 2002.
Dang.
God, That's amazing.
That's amazing. All right, one more here. Steve-O once drank a vial of sweat collected from multiple Jackass cast members. True or false?
That is also true.
Not multiple.
Not multiple.
It was just one guy, Preston Lacey.
But we'll still, listen, we'll still count it.
Hell yeah. Thank you.
Multiple cast members? That would be gross.
Yeah, you did drink the sweat of Preston Lacey. Collected in a sweatsuit.
Yep. And Preston Lacey will be opening for me at the Helium Comedy Club on Wednesday and Thursday.
Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah.
And an all new stage
100%,
show.
100% all new. This one's called the Crash and Burn Tour.
And this will include the death-defying stunt that you were. Did you?
I mean, the multiple death-defying stunts. It's just there was one that was particularly challenging to put together.
And did you have to train for it?
Yes.
Whoa.
I had to train for it. It was wildly illegal, even with training.
Whoa.
Damn.
Yeah.
And see it tomorrow or Thursday or both days at Helium.
Yeah, and let's not even make a big deal out of the one. I mean, it's nonstop firing at you like outrageous crap.
Nice. All right, you can hang out. I mean, you're living in the parking lot for God's sakes. We'll take a break. Steve-O's here. Some of your emails. And, you know, we have a lot of people ask us questions and need our help with certain situations they've found themselves in, and would love for Steve-O to help out. You know, fellow RizzShow listeners. It's 8:39. It's Tuesday. Traffic and weather. Moon coming at you.
Traffic is brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues. Hey, we got left lane blocked due to a crash 270 northbound at 44. Your point forecast, a couple thunder showers are possible later. High of 79 right now at 64 at the Point Studio.
All right, welcome back to the program. Our buddy Steve-O's here, traveling across the country. And what are we calling the tour this time? This is the Crash and Burn Tour?
The Crash and Burn Tour.
And I love, reading about these Steve-O sightings. I read about, a Steve-O sighting at a Mexican restaurant, and I forget where it was.
El Paso, Texas. Yeah, I went to eat Mexican, and it was pretty intense. Like, I've never taken more photos in one meal.
It's so funny because you're such an approachable guy.
Sure.
Everybody loves you.
Yeah.
You're the guy, you walk into a room and everybody lights up.
It's so funny. Like, normally you have to, like, have died to be the person who lit up the room.
No, the fact that you have a tattoo of a penis on your forehead.
Yeah.
And you could still walk into a room with families.
Right.
With families.
Yeah. I know.
That's wild.
Big time.
Think about if I got a tattoo of a penis on my forehead and I walked into a room.
You can't pick up my kid from preschool anymore, that's for sure.
Yeah, most people that would be
grounds for the cops being called.
It would serve as an obstacle in many situations.
What a way to put it.
Yeah, I'm quite proud of the fact that having a penis tattooed on my forehead has changed nothing about my life.
And the thing is, you walk in a room and somebody will go, oh, bless your heart.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, and the way that it's positioned with jizz drops coming out of my eye.
It really is amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, I mean, but face tattoos are more prominent now than they ever have been. So people probably don't even like blink an eye. They probably don't even understand that's a dong. You know, they probably,
It's quite
fairly obvious.
It's quite distinct.
It's fairly obvious. But for him, that's not a job stopper. What do they call it? You know, neck tattoo's a job stopper.
Job blocker.
This gets him work, which is crazy.
It's phenomenal.
Helium Comedy Club. He's there tomorrow, and he's there on Thursday. He's going to Post Malone and Jelly Roll tonight over at Busch Stadium. Weather's supposed to be all right for that, right?
yeah, just cloudy.
Yeah, they're saying like possible thunder showers later here and there, but I think it's afternoon. I think it'll be all fine by Busch Stadium.
Yeah, that'll be fine. All right, let's get to some of your emails. RizzShow1057thepoint.com, or even your instant feedback to the mobile app.
We've had a serious one in the hopper, and I'm going to get to that one in just a minute because it is serious. But the first one on the subject of wangs and pain. This guy writes in and says, morning, guys. You guys were talking about pain and what you can handle. And I have a friend whose husband got a circumcision in his 40s.
Oh, boy.
And the doctor who did the surgery took a little too much skin off the first time he got there. The circumcised skin ripped, so he had to go back to the hospital and have a second surgery. All in all, before it was all over, he lost about an inch of skin and had to get skin grafts.
On his dong?
So now we all call him Frankenpenis. Have a nice day. Love you.
Why would you get a circumcision at 40?
What skin did you take to put down there? Isn't it like a thinner
eyelid.
skin? Yeah, eyelid skin.
I don't know, man. But let's say you were snapping turtle, uncircumcised. Would you?
An anteater.
Anteater, yeah. So if you had an anteater and you made it all the way 4 decades deep, would you? Let's say you get a lady and the lady's like, I can't handle the anteater. You got to fix this up.
I mean, dude, like, if I was a lady, I'd be kind of bummed on an anteater, I think.
Maybe it's a hygiene. You got to keep it.
I got to change the podcast title real quick.
You got to keep it clean. Maybe it's a hygiene issue.
It's intimidating too as a woman, I'm sure. You wow, this looks different. This is something new. Okay. Everything goes back to Sex in the City. There's a whole episode where Charlotte's dating a guy who's uncircumcised and she doesn't like it. And so he goes and does this. He gets a circumcision like in his 40s.
Really?
And then he is on the prowl because he's showing that thing off because he's so proud of what's happened. And she loses him.
Maybe he converted to Judaism.
Okay, yeah, great point.
Yeah, my answer is no. I'll do a lot of stuff.
But you're not doing that?
I mean, yeah,
Well, in the last special, you got a vasectomy, and you did,
right, that's mellow.
Yeah, that's not that big a deal.
That's
both
like
know that.
we've had vasectomies. It's like
I had a way more horrific genitalia stunt on my noon tour. Like way more horrific.
What is it now? I've heard Johnny Knoxville talk about the most pain he's ever been in when he broke his penis, and he had to have like a he had to have like a catheter for quite a long time. I think he's maybe still dealing.
Nah, he doesn't have the lemonade stand anymore. the bag of pee strapped to his leg.
I remember listening to him on Stern, like he'd have to insert like a glass rod and just for the
I don't know that it was a glass rod.
for the scar
but-
tissue.
Yeah.
Maybe I just made that up in my head.
Yeah,
Some kind of catheter.
A
Catheter.
glass?
He absolutely had a catheter, and apparently catheters aren't that bad, or get used to it. Like, I think he enjoyed that.
What's the most pain you've ever been in?
100% the worst pain, third-degree burns.
Yeah,
I had skin grafts on 15% of my body.
Dude, that looked so painful.
It was
so
the
bad.
worst, and that was for the ender for my my second comedy special, Steve-O Gnarly. Yeah.
Third-degree burns.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And my last 2 comedy specials, the Gnarly and the Bucket List, I got them on my website, streaming ad-free, totally for free. You just got to click I'm over 18.
Nice. That's it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's it. So third-degree burns. So first degree
Burns,
is like
burns are the worst.
So first degree is like a sunburn, and then second degree you get some blistering. Third degree you're down to like the bone.
No, it was giant blisters and filled up with fluid, right?
Yeah. I don't know about down to the bone, because actually if you burn it down to the bone, then you've burned away the nerves, and then it's
There's no pain almost.
Yeah, of course it's not going to be burned down to the bone everywhere, so it's not great. You're gonna, I did a little tour of burn units when I went through this, and I heard again and again that people who have been shot and stabbed will tell you that burns hurt the word,
Even more than being shot or stabbed.
Yeah, like burns are just absolutely horrific.
Oh,
I didn't know there was a fourth degree burn.
Yeah, that'll be like when, and then the fourth degree burn's probably going to say that it doesn't hurt because you've burned all the nerves.
Oh, they say fourth degree is like if you get a severe electrical burn.
Oh.
interesting. Yeah.
Affects all layers of skin plus underlying tissue. Symptoms: black and charred skin, exposed bone or muscle, no sensation in the area, nerves are destroyed.
Yeah.
Prolonged exposure to flames, electrical burns. You get a fourth degree burn there.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think that fourth degree is going to be exclusive to electrical burns. I think that, yeah.
All right, next.
This one's heavy. You guys want to get into heavy?
Let's go. Steve-O's here, of course. He loves heavy.
All right, so this guy says, hey, guys and Lern, I have a very serious question. A while ago, you had an email from a lady asking if anybody would date a poor person, and that was a very good discussion. My question is, would you date a person with a terminal disease? Now, his background, he says, 18 months ago, he was diagnosed with a terminal disease, and nobody can say how long he has. The doctors say that they don't make predictions, beyond the next appointment. But he goes on, and there's a lot of different stats that he kind of shares and all this kind of stuff. And he's saying, like, hey, I'd love to date, but I'm also very forthcoming about what's going on, very advanced, very aggressive stage 4 cancer. And his question for discussion is, would you date somebody who is terminal? And yes, we're all going to die. We know that. But he's talking about much, much earlier. And what's your thoughts there?
Ooh, this might expose me for being a bad person. I feel like, because the only thing that comes to mind when this question is posed is like adopting a dog. Like, I really resist adopting like older dogs because I'm like because I'm like, oh, they're gonna die so soon, you know, like, and that makes me a kind of a bad person, I think. But like, I
but
just,
does it though? Because not all of us have the emotional capabilities of dealing with that.
I mean, they're already gonna die, like, you know, like Moon Pie. You know, I was telling you that my famous dog from the streets of Peru, which, you know, I say famous because when I rescued this dog from the streets of Peru, that video was the most viewed thing I've ever put on the internet.
Yeah.
To the tune of
Wendy the dog, yes.
Yeah,
And the dog is
hundreds
so
of
cool.
millions of views. And Wendy, when I started traveling on a tour bus, you know, exhibited like real fear being on the bus. For some reason, she's like, she didn't like it. So I said, I can't do this anymore, and I retired her. Then I brought the bus to the animal shelter to test drive dogs, to find a dog that's just fine with it.
Now, when you say you retired her, I mean, like, you know, you took her out back like Old Yeller.
No.
Just to make that clear.
She's alive and well,
She's living
living
a
out
farm
her
life.
days on 44 acres.
Right, at the ranch.
At the ranch, yeah. Yeah, no, I didn't retire her like
Yeah,
that.
my childhood dog got sent to the ranch, too.
Put him out to pasture.
We used to take the dogs upstate.
Yeah.
Right. No, Wendy's alive and well, but now Wendy's, like, she's in the neighborhood of 10 years old. Mm-hmm. She's slowing down, man. Like, it really makes me sad.
Yeah.
It really makes me sad. Like, to adopt a dog at 10 years old when they're already slowing down. It's like, okay, so what are we doing here? I'd have a lot of trouble.
That's okay. I think it's nice that you admit that, and I also think it's great that there's people that can handle it, and that's why they do. Like, they go to the shelter, they go, "Give me your oldest dog, sir."
Right.
You know,
and
they're incredible.
And you know, it's great there are people like that,
Yeah.
as you just mentioned. I wouldn't have the capacity
That's all
emotionally
right.
to do that.
For both.
Yeah, as far as a person goes, I think it would. I mean, it's
Find a commitment phobe.
legit case by case. Yeah, right.
This is the commitment phobe
Find somebody
dream.
that can't commit to anything.
And now what I want to know is when this guy says, "Are you willing to date someone?" We're talking about a guy. Does he really want to date? He's just trying to crush some beef.
As much as he can
Right.
before he goes.
Maybe that's it. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, so that's
Yes.
a different story, you know?
Will
like,
you use your vajay to escort him to heaven? That's what he wants to know.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't have any problem, like, meeting, I'll meet an older dog, you know, I'll play with her, oh, you're so cute, what a good boy, and then I'll keep going about my
Send
day.
him on his way.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a great.
Well, that's a good
great point.
So, your advice to this gentleman who's dealing with a terminal illness and
Yeah, stop being such a wuss and
just
and
go.
looking for a relationship.
crush
Just-
as much as you can while you got the time.
While you got the time.
Get a pretty good grift going of like, who wants to be the last piece before I go?
Yeah.
And tell every woman she's the last one, and then just move on. This guy can switch the grift. I like where your head's at, man.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
Stop looking for a relationship. You're thinking too much about it.
Right.
Just go and crush some and get as much as you
Yep.
can while you can.
But do you say that when you're out there having one night stands?
No, you say date.
Like, are you telling
Yeah,
people
it's
you're
like
having
make
sex
a
with?
wish.
Kind
The
of.
celebrity doesn't hang out with them for more than a day.
Yeah,
Make a wish.
not bad.
Will you grant me my wish?
Yes. Go for the sympathy.
Steve-O's advice column.
Next.
All right, you're going to a concert tonight. So this email says, been to a lot of concerts, went to see Disturbed in Indy on Wednesday. Nothing More and Daughtry opened. The audio for them sounded like absolute crap. There are two guys with some of the best vocals in rock. They turned the vocals down, and it sounded really muffled. I noticed it a couple years ago, too, when Breaking Benjamin played with Alice in Chains in St. Louis. Why did they do this? I can't see Disturbed having this big of an ego to keep the volume down or the sound down of opening bands. They sounded great. I was singing Nom 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 to every song. It was a blast. Thanks, RizzShow. So he's basically saying, like, he's seen a couple shows where the opening bands are quieter or sound like dog crap. And he's saying, are the other bands, the headliners, doing this on purpose?
Well, let me know if I'm wrong by saying this. So the sound is set for the closer.
The sound, well, the closer, the closer's obviously getting the sound check. Everything is like
Everything
tuned.
is set and tuned. The speakers and everything's all tuned for them.
I mean, dude, like, you can set the sound for each act. Like, I with my openers, the opener, they set it for them, and then they set it for me. You're not locked into one setting.
Yeah, there's like...
we have the technology, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
We're all digital now, guys?
Yeah.
Most of it is digital and it's digitally recalled for each band. But I will say that there are some old school purists, either bands or production for bands, that do live this old classic mentality of the concert life where the openers will be 8 decibels less or X amount of decibels less, so your headliner always comes out bigger
Sounds
sounding and louder. Yeah. That is a thing that happens. We had a sound guy back 20-something years ago, and this dude's a pro. He's with one of the biggest bands on the planet right now, and he was doing that. And we were like, no, don't do that to the openers. He's like, this is standard. This is standard. It was standard in his industry at this at a particular level.
I can live with that, but what this email described was not that. They were talking about the different levels where the audio was lower, so that's different.
That might just be
if you can like have everything mixed appropriately with levels that make sense, and the audio it's just a little less loud. Mm-hmm. They were describing audio being vocals being muffled and crappy. That's a different thing.
Yeah, that may just be a sound guy that's not as good, or some.
Nobody's doing that on purpose.
Yeah, I wouldn't say anybody's sounding like crap on purpose, or certainly a headliner hoping or doing something to make an opener sound worse.
Right.
Yeah, you want your fans to be stoked.
I don't.
You
see
ever
that.
hear the story of Skinner opening up for the Stones back in the 70s, and the Stones were all upset that Skinner blew him off the stage, and they didn't want him to play Freebird. And there's a famous story of an opener stealing the show.
Oh, you hear about that all the time, though.
It happens with comics. A lot of headliners, they don't want their opener to be too funny.
Yeah.
I do not get that.
It happened. It happened with us a couple times because our live show was insane. We were throwing guitars and backflipping and all sorts of stuff, and we had a few bands that we may have been on a second leg or something like that not take us on the second leg. And they were a couple of them were nice enough to be like, "Hey, we don't like playing after you. It's just too high energy to then follow you, and it doesn't look good." We even toured with one band who was supposed to be headlining, and halfway through the tour, they said, "Why don't you guys start playing last?" And those guys were like great examples to us because they put their ego aside and they're like, "This is a better tour with you guys closing because you may as well have fire and lasers up here," and that wasn't that band.
To admit, can't do that with comedy. I want to say that, right? Like you switch that, everyone's walking out.
Well, we were about
also to admit, like, man, I can't follow that.
We were about the same. We were selling the same amount of tickets. It was supposed to be a co-headlining thing. We were sharing a bus and everything. So like we got really close. And once we got really close, they put their egos aside and were like, "Hey, I think this is a better tour for the audience if you guys are closing."
Okay, let me ask this. What's the best live performance? What do you think? What's the best band live?
The band live.
Oh my goodness.
Band live.
The best band live.
I mean, dude, so easy. Tool.
For me, Tool.
See, I've never seen
100%.
Tool live.
Oh my God, it's ridiculous.
I took my wife to the last Tool show here, and she goes, "I'm bored." I go, "I'm never taking you again." I go, "I'm never taking you to a Tool show again."
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
I've
then-
seen some pretty wild shows.
All right.
I mean, this is not going to be a popular answer in this audience, but Allison Krauss and Union Station is like a bluegrass band. It was so flawlessly executed, and the sound was so big and perfect that I was like, my jaw was on the floor.
You know what sounded great? When we saw them at the Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They sounded so good in that amphitheater that night.
Sold out show. Last stop on the tour was St. Louis.
I mean, they had that thing dialed in. Remember that show? That was a great show.
I saw the
that was
Chili
good.
Peppers when I was in high school in England. I went to high school in England. And I guess that was in the heroin era because I was like, what are they doing?
Right.
You know, the story, when you had Dee
is
Snider
this?
on, Snider, so Steve had Dee Snider on, and that was the Twisted Sister was the first concert you ever went to?
Well, that's cool.
That was a great story.
That was great. Can you
Sure.
just kinda share that story?
My dad just surprised me. It was like, hey, you want to go to the Twisted Sister concert? And we showed up and bought scalper tickets. And there was like, I don't know, I think we were like 10 rows back or something. And I'm sitting on my dad's shoulders.
How old are you, 11 years old?
I was exactly 11 years old. And sitting on my dad's shoulders, and some like cool usher was like, oh, we can't have this. And he just ushered us up to the front row. And so I was like in the front row, and Dee Snider came out and like gave me a high five. I'm like an 11-year-old kid, like, wow. And then the drummer threw a drumstick, and my dad caught half the drumstick, and this dude next to him caught the other half. And I've never seen my dad look like more of a badass. Like, this is mine.
Dude,
you
that's
know?
right.
And my dad gave me the drumstick. It was cool. But that was kind of mellow compared to when Motley Crue came to town. A couple years later.
Another great story.
Living in Toronto, and I see on TV that Motley Crue's been in trouble, and they're complaining about them on the news, but it's the day before the concert. And I'm like, the concert's tomorrow, but they're here now, which means they're in a hotel. I'm going to track them down. And I'm thinking to myself, like, Nikki Sixx isn't going to check into a hotel under the name Nikki Sixx, or Frank Carlton Ferrano.
His real name.
Right. I'm like, they're going to be checked in under the name of their manager. So I go running to check all my album sleeves, my little tape cassettes. The manager says, Doc McGee, like every one of them. So I opened up the Yellow Pages and called every single hotel in the Yellow Pages saying, can you please put me through to Doc McGee's room? Sat there calling for hours and hours and finally was put through. The phone rings in this hotel room and I'm like, hello, is that Doc McGee? And the guy says, no, this is Doc's brother, Scott. Who's this? And I'm like, as in Motley Crue? And he's like annoyed. He's like, how'd you get this number? I'm like, dude, I just called every single hotel in the Yellow Pages. He says, are you kidding me? That's awesome. He's like, how would you like tickets to the show and backstage passes? I'm like, So he put me on the list, like got me killer tickets and
all right, so what you're saying is
I have a photo of me and Nikki Sixx and me and Tommy Lee from October 25th, 1987.
That's amazing.
So what you're saying is, all right, guys, find out who Post Malone's manager is
Yeah.
and call every hotel right
Start
now.
with the Four Seasons. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. So start with the Ritz in Ladue.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, the Ritz in Clayton.
But there was a better one. There was someone got a hold of me. Not that like that. But okay, so when I had the 3rd-degree burns, worst pain I've ever experienced, ever. And I go in for this surgery, the skin graft. They grafted the skin of 7 dead people onto my body, like
7 cadavers.
set cadaver skin from 7 different people. When I woke up from the surgery, I was fixed. The pain was gone. I was like so filled with gratitude. And after the surgery, they informed me about the 7 dead people. They said that they were going to give me the information of the families of each dead person so that I could write thank you notes.
Yeah.
And my first thought was like, oh my God, I'm gonna reach out to every single one of these families. Like maybe some of them are having a tough time. I'm gonna help them out a little bit. Maybe one of them is a big Steve-O fan. I'm gonna like fly this person out of me. I'm gonna do some good, right?
Oh no, where's this going?
I tell my dad this. My dad says, what family do you think is gonna be happy to learn that their loved one's skin was wasted on a jerk who lit himself on fire on purpose. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, Dad. F those people. But, so I'm just filled with gratitude. This is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. The pain's gone. I'm totally fixed. And I'm like, dude, this is like, I'm ready for paparazzi. You know, like, so I'm flying. This happened in Denver. I'm flying home to LA. I go on my social media and I'm like, hey, if any paparazzi wants to talk to me about this crazy thing that just happened, here's my flight info, you know? I'm in the best mood I've ever been because I'm fixed.
Yeah.
I'm walking through the airport in Denver, and over the you know, announcing, the PA, will Mr. Stephen Glover please go to a courtesy phone for a message? And I'm like, wow, I'm being paged to put. And I go to the courtesy phone, I pick up the thing, and it's some kid in, like, Idaho. He's like, dude, I saw your post. I figured you'd be walking through the airport about now, so I called the airport to have them page the whole airport to get you on the phone. Dude, this is awesome. What's going on?
No way.
And I'm like, dude, you win, bro. Like, you win. That's like, for me, if I'm on the other end of a Motley Crue story,
dude.
that's the kid.
That's you.
Fully connected.
That's so, dude, like, I was so excited to arrange to meet that kid.
Yeah, that was rad.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you got to go back to bed.
Sure. I love it. Yeah. Man, you know what? I love you guys so much. I love our relationship so much.
I love you can call up and be like, hey, I'm in the parking lot.
Thanks, man.
I'm just going to come in.
For sure. And
we've had some good moments with you. Remember the Tara Reid incident?
I do.
We'll go into that another day.
Yeah, that turned into like 7 incidents throughout the weekend, really.
Dude, it's always just been fantastic. I love St. Louis. I love you guys. And, you know, like we reach out to each other. It's an open invite.
You were there for us during the pandemic. Remember we
yeah,
pitched
for
in.
sure, man. I mean, dude, please reach out to me whenever, man. I love that it's such a reciprocal relationship that we have.
Listen, even if you want to
brother.
come by tomorrow, we're here for you. If you
Man, sure.
Come on.
You know what? Like,
It's up to you.
Dude, like, you got a really good parking spot for me.
yeah, you're taking up 2 spaces.
I mean, with my, I'm like a 50-foot long operation with that
good
trailer.
park, by the
yeah, it's a great
It
park.
is.
Thanks, man.
All right, listen,
We
see
judge
Steve-O.
people through this window about their parking.
See Steve-O tomorrow at Helium and Thursday at Helium. One show each night, 7 o'clock. Go to Helium's website. All new. How long are you on stage?
Like an hour 5 or something.
All new stuff.
Yeah, I got a solid new hour, and it is a wild time.
And speaking of wild, so you got Steve-O's Wild Ride.
Yeah.
The podcast, which we all love. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Steve-O.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right, we'll take a break. Stay there. Who saw the Chiefsaholic documentary?
I
did.
So
You
good.
saw it?
So good.
You saw it. You didn't see it, Lern?
No, Tim hasn't watched it yet.
Oh,
Or if
dude,
he has, I didn't watch it with him.
So
It's pretty captivating.
Hoosierific.
It really is.
Oh, man, it's
Not-
one idiot after another. Honestly. From the mom to the dude himself.
To the lawyer that wants to be a star.
Oh, God, it's... what is that on? Is that on...
Amazon.
I want to say, yeah, Amazon.
Oh, it's wonderful. So the Chiefsaholic, he's the guy famous for being an Arrowhead, wearing the wolf costume at every Chiefs game. He admitted to robbing a credit union in Oklahoma back in December of 2022. And he did this. He actually robbed a bunch of credit unions to fund his Chiefs fanaticism.
His holic.
Well, he was just sentenced to 32 years in prison.
Whoa.
Saw that, man.
Wow.
And that's for the one. That's for the one bank robbery.
So that's not even for the fleeing? Because he also flees and is on the run for like 10 months.
He pleaded guilty in court to several charges, including bank robbery, money laundering, sentenced to 32 years in federal prison in order to pay restitution to the banks he robbed. Okay, so banks. But 32 years, that's a long time.
That is a long time.
Yeah.
I just wonder if there's a separate charge still to... Probably not. I imagine it all got rolled in. But he did. The bail bondsman, too, is another character in that.
Oh, yeah.
The lawyer.
That's
the
who
lawyer.
I meant. Yeah,
bail
so it's the
bondsman.
bond. He wants to be a
He
star.
wants to be a dog the bounty hunter, and then he's like, has a nervous breakdown when the kid leaves. Now he's on the hook for 80 grand or whatever. It's a very entertaining.
Because he didn't have him put down any collateral. He's let him go. Remember, Xavier Babidar.
That was a doof. The doofus. Like, the fact that guy could get 13 banks under his belt and not get caught is...
pretty wild.
Oh, no, he got caught. And he's now going to 30...
But before that.
Before that.
And
32 years.
And when you say 32 years and you're like, oh, my gosh, he didn't kill nobody or whatever, that's a long time. But then you remember... And I think the documentary does a pretty decent job of showing, like, especially that young gal and a couple others. Like, these people.
Wasn't there one that was pregnant?
I don't remember, but I just remember that it was like a young blonde gal or something, and she was
traumatized forever.
Absolutely thought she was going to die. This is a huge, imposing 6'6" dude with a gun and a mask coming in multiple times.
The gun was fake too, right?
I'm not sure.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying, like, I think he used like either an airsoft gun or I can't remember.
So it wasn't
Maybe
really
it was
a bad guy.
I'm just saying, like,
trauma.
Don't forget what that does to people.
Okay.
And I think that goes a long way with the judge that's looking at that sentence in 32 years.
Yeah, it's also just mandate. I think federal mandate for bank robbery is pretty high.
Yeah, they don't look too kindly.
I think 10 years is like the minimum sentence.
Yeah. All right, let's do sports real quick. All right, Moon, what do you got?
Well, pardon me. Sparts is brought to you by DraftKings at Casino Queen. Play, stay, and dine. Visit DraftKings at CasinoQueen.com for a special promotion. This just in. Sovereignty's victory at the Kentucky Derby, it's tainted because he whipped the horse too much. Now, who knew there is a...
Oh, the jockey whipped the horse too much.
There's a horse racing integrity and safety authority that says riders are only allowed to whip their horses 6 times during a race. Sovereignty's jockey, Junior Alvarado, smacked him 8 times.
Oh, come on.
This is the second time he has violated this rule in 180 days, and therefore he has been fined 20% of his Derby winnings. How much do you think he won at the Derby?
The jockey?
That's right, the jockey.
I bet you got $1 million.
He got $310,000, and therefore his fine was $62,000.
Oh, really?
He's been suspended for 2 racing days, meaning he is not going to be in the Preakness.
Well, they weren't going to race in the Preakness anyway.
Yeah, so he can't win the Triple Crown. He did say, quote, I couldn't keep track of it. It's such a big race. There's so much that you've got on your mind. So,
are those fines tax deductible, do you think?
I'm wondering if maybe the trainer who probably won $1 gazillion to take care of that. You'd think.
Interesting.
You'd think. I mean, that horse is worth a lot of money now, especially with the stud, the stud rights or whatever, the lineage.
I don't know.
Also, sounds like such an arbitrary number.
62,000?
Yeah, you whip them, but only 6 times. Don't get carried away.
7 is too many.
I wonder if it has to do with, like, the distance.
It probably does have to do with, like, motivating the horse or something. I don't know.
Mason Wynn's 7th inning solo homer lifted the Cards to a 3-2 win over the Phillies on Monday, extending their winning streak to 9 games. Freaking 9 games in a row.
Not bad, guys.
Wow. Relievers Leahy, Romero, and Helsley combined for 3 2/3 scoreless innings. Helsley secured his 8th save. Herrera also homered. Arenado's aggressive base running set up an early run. Cardinals now 20-19, leaned on clutch bullpen performances to hold off the Phillies, who threatened late but couldn't break through the Cardinals' shutdown relief. 9 in a row. Celtics star Jason Tatum, and St. Louis native, suffered a lower right leg injury in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference semifinals on Monday, collapsing to the floor in visible pain. This was not good. Non-contact play, by the way. He was carried off without putting weight on his leg and was later seen in a wheelchair. Despite he having a 42-point performance, the Celtics fell to the Knicks.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Jason Tatum.
Also not looking good for Rockies manager Bud Black. He was fired after an MLB worst 7-33 record. So, bye! I'm Moon, and that's your sports, because doing the bull dance, feeling the flow, working it.
Thank you. That's it for us. If you missed anything on the show today, make sure you check out the clip of the day brought to you by Michael's Flooring. Also, today's podcast, which is brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Center. And today's podcast is titled...
Steve-O is a little bummed on the Anteater.
Ah, yes. Make sure you see him at Helium either tomorrow or Thursday. And if you see him at the Post Malone show tonight, say hi. All right, Moon, what else?
Oh, man, just see Steve-O this week. That'll be so tight.
All right, Lern.
Just follow me on the socials at Lern versus Radio. Thanks.
Rafe.
No notes.
King Scott.
Call every hotel and see where I almost said
Clownvis.
Clownvis is at.
Saying, yes.
All right, that'll work. King Scott rules. Hugs.
All right, we'll leave you with a selection from our Team Rizz Member of the Day, brought to you by Hot Shot Sports Bar and Grill. From Festus, Kyle Rose.
Yeah,